And it is the last day of July in the year 2024, and the sports scene is heating up. The Jets are back in training camp. Baseball is in high gear with the trade deadline behind us, and a few other random things going on in the world of New York sports. You've come to the right place on a Wednesday. It is Wednesday indeed. I've got a special guest joining us tonight, and you know what's up. We are live. Welcome everybody back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99, and thank you as always for taking the time to join me on this Wednesday night. And I got something to tell you, everybody. Yes, it is indeed my birthday. That's right, 24 years old. Just go with it. As you know, I'm pretty much in that place where I'm too young to be old and I'm too old to be young. Sounds like a country song, doesn't it? Well, I'll tell you what, before, we do have a special guest joining us, maybe multiple special guests joining us a little bit later on tonight. But we are going to get to them in a moment. But before we get into anything, I want to say hello to a few people in the chat. And we've got the most loyal of the most loyal members of the WickerMedia fan base, Jets Mess. I'm glad you're here. Channel member, always dropping the Wicker. I appreciate you being here tonight. And then we've got from New Brunswick, New Jersey, the great Robert Bartolo, big-time Cowboys fan and a perpetually negative Rangers and Braves fan. I still don't know how, yet he remains that way. But I hope he's enjoying the Whitley's Peanuts. Anyway, Harlan Abraham, one of the true veterans of Jet fandom, always bringing the logic, always bringing the sensible talk. Harlan, glad you're here. And yes, it will be Jets Chaos joining us from Sacramento, California, not too long, except this time, I got the finger, I got the power. It's on our show, on our channel. David D. saw him a little bit earlier in the Jake Asman channel. I'm glad you're here. All right, and Nick Shine is here so we don't get fined, just like Marshawn Lynch. Yep, I get it. Arkansas, happy, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad you're here as well. Proving that to be called a Karen is actually a great thing. All right. Hank G, glad you're here too. Thanks for dropping by tonight. Wow. The chat is here and they are out in full force tonight. I love it. All right. So we're going to get into a whole bunch of things, but I realize I still got to get a few things. You know what? I don't even know if I'll be able to do the usual. This is just going to be not as organized a show as we usually have, where I've got all the slides and all that kind of stuff. You know, we'll still be doing a little bit of that, but yeah, things were a little bit chaotic today. So we're going to have to kind of go by the seat of our pants here. But we'll talk about what's on my mind right now with a little bit of what we like to call 3 and out. And I'm going to start off tonight with I think we might be slideless tonight. That's okay. It'll be fine. So the New York Rangers, we're going to start with hockey, signed Ryan Lindgren, their defenseman, to a 1-year, $4.5 million contract. I did not expect 1 year for him. Now, this past year, played 76 games, and this is going to be his 7th year with the Rangers. He is known as maybe one of the grittiest, most physical Rangers there has been in a long time, has an amazing ability to get his butt whipped but keep on playing through injuries, and he makes a great compliment to Adam Fox with his offensive capabilities. But Rangers fans starting to get a little bit down on Lindgren for him getting hurt. You know, his physical play comes at a price, and it didn't seem like he was playing his best in the playoffs. And if you're a Rangers fan, you know that they have dealt with some issues like this with previous defensemen. with Mark Stahl, with Dan Girardi, and how many years can you really give a 30-year-old defenseman whose physicality is really the name of his game, right? So that's something that you got to be a little bit concerned about. So you know what? I understand Chris Drury only be willing to offer him a one-year deal, and now after January, he can negotiate a new contract with Ryan Lindgren. Okay, on to baseball. Now, by the way, I have no background on, so the hat will show up. All right, so we'll do a little bit of baseball right now. First of all, with the New York Mets. Mets lose to the Twins today. No big deal, but I will say this. When Luis Severino is off, he is really off. So Mets fans are finding out exactly what Yankees fans knew for all those years. But you know what? A 9-game stretch where the Mets go 6-3 against Atlanta, the Yankees, and the Twins. I'll sign up for that. Now comes the absolutely ridiculous, ungodly road trip of Anaheim, St. Louis for one, then Colorado, and then Seattle. Give me a break already. Just an absolutely absurd schedule. But the Mets did make a few trades, moving Josh Walker over to Pittsburgh for an 18-year-old reliever that nobody has ever really heard of. Paul Blackburn coming over from Oakland. Mets trade Cade Morris, their 25th ranked prospect. Blackburn is just a back of the rotation pitcher. He's been with Oakland forever, but what I do like, he's under contract through 2025, and the Mets have a lot of pitchers, starting pitchers in particular, on one-year deals. So I am encouraged that they will have Blackburn for another year. This season, 51 innings, 9 starts, had 38 strikeouts, 14 walks, allowed 8 home runs, 4.41 ERA, 1.15 whip. So some up and down numbers there. He was an all-star in 2022, but I mean, come on. He was an all-star in 2022 for the Oakland Athletics. I mean, how much does that really mean? It's like being the thinnest one at a Weight Watchers convention, please. And then you get Tyler Zuber, a reliever who's already been sent to AAA. I really liked the addition with 20 minutes left of Huascar Brazaban from Miami Marlins. 34 years old, but a flamethrower. Throws really, really hard. 20 appearances, 2.93 ERA, a 1.01 whip, walks plus hits divided by innings pitched, 34 strikeouts to 11 walks, and under contract. Check this out. He's under contract till 2028 and isn't even arbitration eligible till 2026. So Mets got him for a while. They traded their 22-ranked prospect for him. So basically for Jesse Winker, who they also got earlier in the week, Blackburn and Brazaban, they traded, by all accounts, their 17th, 22nd, and 25th ranked prospects, and some people had Lara in the 38 range. So I think it was a very efficient trade deadline for the Mets. I can't say that they're a wild card favorite. There's 6 teams fighting for 3 spots, but it's going to be a very dramatic summer, to say the least. And let's quickly do a second here on the Yankees. I give them a lot of credit for sweeping the Phillies. People have been asking me. They actually asked me today, we're going to try to sweep the Phillies for you. Okay. I mean, the Mets are still like 8-9 games behind Philadelphia. I'm not even considering the division to be a realistic. If it gets down to, say, about 5 games with 3 weeks to go, then talk to me. Okay. But other than but what they did, Jazz Chisholm looks amazing. Just being absolutely dominant so far, but he is a very streaky player. So Yankee fans will see the bad side of him before long. They traded Caleb Ferguson to Houston for a prospect. No big deal. And I did want to spend 1 second here on Tanner Scott. And then we'll talk some Jets in just 1 minute. But I did not want Tanner Scott on the Mets for a rental reliever having a peak season and a player who San Diego ultimately had to trade their 2nd, 3rd, and 5th best prospects for, plus a top 25 prospect. To me, was absolutely absurd. San Diego had a need, but you know what? I did not want Tanner Scott. Maybe I would have traded that for like Ryan Helsley of the Cardinals. But oh my gosh, 3 top 5 prospects for a reliever you're not going to have until after this year? Oh boy, I just don't understand the logic of it. But hey, San Diego takes a lot of chances at the trade deadline, and this may be one of the biggest risks they've ever taken. So, hey, I'll give them credit for trying. I just don't know if it's smart business. All right, guys, well, I'll tell you what. We're going to move that aside, and we are going to move on to the main event of the night. You know, for a long time, I was just a guest on various channels. You saw me on Green Bean, and anybody who pretty much felt sorry for me, but I would join. And eventually, somebody came up to me and said, you know what? People seem to like you and I together. They think we got a rhythm. They think we got a chemistry. And so we gave it a try, and it turned into a very good run for a little over a year. Well, for the first time in a while, it is just him and I tonight for the time being, and then we'll have a few more guests joining. And I would bring him in, but I think we got to do one thing first. The first thing we got to do is switch the color from blue to green, and I think we're going to bring him in in a similar way he used to bring me in. You know him for I got him cracking up in the background. You know him for his passion for the Jets. You know him for his passion for food reviews, always living in the shadow of the great Lee Cravette, who is the correct answer to every trivia question we have ever asked on this channel. And you know him for bringing the energy and bringing the passion for the New York Jets in a way that very few, if any, others can. And so today, I welcome to New York Sports WickerMedia, the one, the only, Jeremy Jets Chaos Cravette! What's up, Sacramento? How you doing today?
We are doing good today. It is a beautiful day in Sacramento. It's a beautiful day to talk about the Jets. Finally back at camp. Super excited. First show appearance for me in a really long time. I'm happy to do it on your channel.
And I'm glad you're taking the time to do it. Yeah, we those who don't know, we actually hung out down here in North Carolina since Jeremy's parents are down here. And I have now been living here for about 10 or 11 weeks now. And we went to a place called Apex. It was in Morrisville, but Acme Pizza, and had some of the greatest garlic knots in the middle of, I think, 2 inches of rain. Biblical rains. I was waiting for the ark to float by. It was so unbelievable. But dude, before we have to spend 1 minute on food. Just tell us about those garlic knots and that meathead deep dish pizza we had.
Well, I think the important thing to point out first, which is really interesting, is that the place is a Chicago style pizza place. The purpose was to eat Chicago style pizza, and garlic knots are not a Chicago thing. Yeah, garlic knots are, started in Brooklyn, Queens, the boroughs, and eventually Manhattan and New York. With little pieces of dough that they would bake, obviously, and then toss in garlic and some grated cheese and oil. But it was interesting that the best thing, and that's not to put down their pizza, but the best part of that meal was without question those garlic knots. They were absolutely outrageous. They were so good.
I swear they were deep fried. It was like, this wasn't like a little crescent roll looking twist job with a bunch of garlic and oil and parm thrown on top and parsley. No. This was like a ball. It looked like a rice ball on the outside. We thought we got the wrong appetizer at first. And it was just swimming in a bowl of oil and garlic and parm and just,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, babe. Yeah.
Just fantastic.
Apex, yes. Home of the great John Forsland. Yes, my father would find a way to bring hockey back into the chat. All right, so we're going to talk about a couple different things here with the Jets tonight, about what's been going on in camp and some of the big stories going on right now. Of course, we will do trivia. And guys, as my little gift back to you on my birthday, we will be doing the wheel tonight. There will be a wheel, I promise you. So, but still, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, share with a friend. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And, we've got one of the great live streamers in all of sports, the great John. Great job. Definitely check out Pure Adrenaline Sports and go subscribe to his channel. All right. And he's a lot more objective with the teams he doesn't like than I am. So I give him a whole lot of credit because I just can't keep my emotions in check while I watch these freaking games sometimes. All right. So let's go back before we go to the present. Now, I want to get an idea of where your mindset was after last season, because the expectations were as high as they had been in many, many years. And we know after week 1, those expectations changed quite drastically. And we wound up with what was going to be a top 10 draft pick. And it's our second straight 7-win season, albeit with a much more talented roster. So, what going into the offseason, what did you want to see the Jets do, and where was your level of optimism versus pessimism as the offseason progressed?
Yeah, I like to consider myself, although I deny it and I don't, but I mean, I've come to consider myself or accept the fact that, yes, I'm indeed a fanboy. I am. Because I was definitely one of the people trying to be optimistic at the end of the year. And I was actually a little surprised about how pessimistic the pessimistic were. Because I felt that obviously we potentially could have had a great season. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. The offensive line got hurt. I would say my biggest concern, though, was I felt we had more needs than asset. And what I mean by asset, cap space and draft pick. Um, just the reality of the offensive line with the need for weapon, I thought was, with the assumption that not every draft pick is going to hit. So you can only look at like your top couple of picks, right? Only rely on maybe your first pick to really make an impact if you want to make a championship run. So my mindset was kind of like, I understand we're going to rebuild. We have an offseason. We have some picks. We have some money. We're going to fill this in. We have Aaron Rodgers coming back. So I was optimistic, great defense, and fully expecting to do it. My concern was how, really how were we going to fill all the spots? And then obviously the JG magic happened.
Yep, and it in fact was an incredible amount of magic. And now you read some of these training camp reports, and it's about as optimistic as even the beat writers, who can be a little bit how do we say this douchery, a little bit skeptical. We'll put it that way. Have been saying this is a legitimately good-looking team here in the preseason. Quick hello to the great Wild Wave. So I'll give you a kind of a calm wave. I'm glad that you are here. Yep. Birthday boy and baldy locks. Yep, Nick knows how to sum it up, doesn't he?
Happy birthday, Adam. I didn't even say it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So the trivia question, I will warn everybody, will be related to my birthday and the New York Jets. How did I pull that off? You'll find out later on tonight. That's right. Okay, so yeah, with this, now that we're in training camp, who are some of the players that you're watching most closely to, whether it's to take a step up or make a big impact on the team?
I think the ones I watch closely might be a little different kind of perspective. For some of the players I look like are more the players I'm most concerned about, or positions I'm concerned where I kind of believe we have to have some growth to truly be as great as, and to back up my excitement, to be as great as we can be. So what I've been really focusing on is who's playing next to Quinnen, like what do the defensive tackles look like? So I've been focused a lot on Kinlaw. Obviously very excited about the muscle he put on, hearing really good things about him. With Reddick out of camp, I've been, I'm always looking for McDonald news. How's McDonald looking? Where's the potential there? But then we get, then all of a sudden this guy Tack comes out of nowhere and, is lighting everybody up and getting everybody excited. So, some of those are some of the things I'm looking at. I really am excited about, and I think we talked about it. This guy Stiglers, that we got from Canada. I'm really excited about this kid. I think that we're going to have to make some very difficult decisions. I think that, after this year with Reed, and I'm thinking if this kid lives up to the hype and he's what they're saying he is, and really show some potential, that could really alleviate a big void for us and not having to worry about bringing back Reed and maybe having the replacement. So that's pretty exciting for me. And keeping my eye on Tippmann, not as concerned as everybody else, or people on Twitter seem to be about the snaps. I knew last year that some of his longs, when we went out of shotgun, it was a little high, his snaps sometimes, which could take the quarterback out of their rhythm, something he has to work at. I'm not having a heart attack over it. I'm more just excited to see him develop into a Pro Bowl type center. Like to see, is he going to be start really pushing people around? And because I think when you look at who's around him, we could be an exciting winning team. Really, forgetting the running backs talent, but just in the offensive line and the way we run block.
Mm. You mentioned Javon Kinlaw, and I definitely wanted to bring him up because I think he was one of those signings that a lot of people were very unsure about. It's like, Kinlaw in for Quentin Jefferson, Sheldon Rankins before him. Man, are we going backwards with defensive tackle? Keeping in mind that as great as Quentin Williams is, no defensive lineman is going to play more than 70% of the snaps this year for the Jets. That's just the way they do it. So what my concern has been is not so much the run defense, but what is the middle of the defense going to look like that 30% of the time when Quentin is on the sideline? Somebody's got to step up. Now, besides Kinlaw, you have Lecky Fotu, who's made a few impact plays from what I hear in the run game. And we kind of know what we get with Solomon Thomas. He'll be okay, but he's only going to be able to do so much. That's why I'm hoping for somebody like a Leonard Taylor to step up. But the news this week about Kinlaw, like you, got me quite interested, that he added 25 pounds of muscle. He went, I think, from 310 to 335. And then I knew I had to bring this up with you. They actually talked about his diet. He talked about what he did to put that muscle on. Now, for those who haven't heard about this, I'm going to go through this. Now, think if this is going to be harder on your stomach or your wallet. Okay, here's breakfast. 9 eggs, a whole avocado, and a handful of spinach. Now, I've had some breakfast where I'll have 6 eggs and a handful of spinach. I've done that. So I can see that. Lunch, 6 chicken breasts and a side salad. I would like to know what his secret is for making chicken breast so it doesn't come out too dry, first of all, because that is a challenge. Because then when you pound it, it can come out really stringy, and stringy chicken breast sucks. All right.
I agree. Chicken breast is a tricky meat.
It is, yeah. Tricky meat is very much a problem. So I might have to go back, watch some of those America's Test Kitchen videos on chicken breast. Dinner, 1 pound of ground beef with, quote unquote, a little pasta mixed in. I'm not sure how much is a little pasta, but I'm willing to bet it is a lot less than what guys like myself would have when we sit down and we eat like half a box. And I'm willing to bet that ground beef is kind of on the lean side. So, yeah, I'm not sure how many grams of protein that is, but I know when I donate blood plasma, they want me to take in about 100 grams of protein a day, and it's not very easy to do. All of a sudden, I've got motivation in life from Javon Kinlaw. Jeremy, how long if somebody said this is what you need to do to put on muscle, how long could you last on this diet?
Man, my biggest problem with it is and I am dieting right now, but unfortunately it's the opposite, and very little calories, although it is to stay that way, protein high. My biggest problem with that diet is not so much the quantity. I mean, I love eggs. I love all the things he has to eat. I mean, I'd rather have chicken thighs than chicken breast. But my challenge with it would be more the lack of carbs, right? The fact that, it's just that, the hardest part about having any kind of restrictions in my diet is just not having good bread. I'm a true New Yorker, and bread is just the embodiment of good eating. And having to not have the carbs is really the big challenge in my mind. That would be the challenge. If you let me have amazing bread, or and I had my bread, I certainly wouldn't mind the eggs and the morning breakfast. Be fine with me. And then the chicken, I guess I'd have to chop it up, put it in teriyaki. If you force me to do white meat chicken, I'm gonna have to find a way to make it tolerable, make it chewable, and that kind of thing. But
a lot of chicken cutlets. That's what we'd be doing if we could.
Definitely chicken cutlets. So to me, that's the only way to do chicken breast. But
I better not say chicken cutlet again, or who's gonna J. Cole's gonna show up.
But I did get a kick out of Kinlaw when he said the 9 eggs. He didn't say 9 eggs. He said the 9 chicken eggs. And I always get tickled a little and think I always get a little kick out of like cultural differences in this world, right? And like the little differences in the language, and the way we talk, and the way we think of things, because it just amused me to hear somebody refer to eggs as chicken eggs.
As opposed to what? Ostrich eggs? What kind of eggs are we having?
Exactly. Unless I got it all wrong and he's living, because he's a millionaire, unless he's living in very fancy schmancy and he's saying chicken eggs, meaning I'm stepping down from my high world of ostrich eggs. And,
Yeah, he had to let go of the ostrich farm in his backyard to resort himself to the humble chicken like you and I might. All right, a couple quick comments. Robert Bartolo, are you drinking anything special out of that bottle on your birthday? I am not. As good old-fashioned water, but I do have this. I do have a Premier Protein. They're not sponsoring this, but they should, the way I buy them. And I do have a little snack over here. So I'll tell you guys what happened at work today. Actually, yesterday, the office manager comes up and said, "Isn't it your birthday tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah, it is." He said, "Well, we do something for the person whose birthday it is every day. They can get whatever they want within reason, food-wise, and we'll bring it." Now, I know I'm not going to be able to get, the 6 chicken breast thing like Kinlaw would get. But I thought, well, you know what? Let's not – I don't want to do the local grocery store pastry ring and cookies and all that kind of stuff. Let's go like someplace local. So there's a place – in North Raleigh called Sola. It's a coffee shop, and I found out about it because there's a local ice cream shop that has an ice cream flavor based off their donut, their cinnamon sugar donut. So what you do is you go and you order like a dozen hot mini donuts, like $6. And they have a couple different flavors. So they have the cinnamon sugar. They have a couple different ones, a cardamom, a couple other ones I can't pronounce, and they have a Pink Panther. So I'm just going to show everybody. This is a Pink Panther donut right here. It's like cinnamon sugar, but the pink has like a little bit of strawberry. It's like a strawberry cinnamon sugar, and it is amazing, even room temperature, and it is like nothing to take down a dozen of these. So throughout the night, I'll be just munching on donuts and Premier Protein. So at least I'm getting a little bit of my protein in. Maybe not be putting on the muscle that Kinlaw is, but that's what I'm going to be having during the show tonight. And they are very, very good.
My God. Next time I'm there, you're going to have to point me in the direction.
Oh, definitely. All right. The great Johnny Boy. Happy birthday, Broham. Viva los Mets and Jets. Good to see you, my friend. I will let you know when I'm back in town. I'm glad that you are here. And let's see. Oh, yeah, we've got Dane O. Who's the beautiful big guy on the right today?
You forgot bald.
Bald. Yes, as well.
It's beautiful big bald guy, but nice to see you, Dano. What's up, buddy?
Yep, good to see you as well. No. If I had a quick button to quickly reverse who's on the left and who's on the right, I would have done that. But I have to pay more for that StreamYard. So, Harlan, lean ground beef is much better than non-lean. I would agree. I would never go below 85 for just about anything because eventually you just don't taste you just don't taste it as much. So, for me, 85 at least. So, but it is expensive nowadays. So I'll only get it when it's on sale, or maybe if I'm in Costco. Because
I think that like because of like me trying to lose weight, my diet. I think when I'm using lean ground beef, I think that I put like taco seasoning in. I'm doing things where I'm compensating for the fact that the flavor is not going to be there, as much. But you can. I mean, if you're going to season ground beef with taco seasoning, that's what the leaner meat is for, because you're giving it the flavor a different way, So.
Yeah. Like one thing I like to do, I do like a ground beef and broccoli stir fry. Most of us have had beef and broccoli in a Chinese restaurant. You could do like a little stir fry, just use ground beef instead of steak. Nothing wrong with that. And it's fantastic. So that's one of my little go-tos. Yeah. There's more to it than burgers and tacos with ground beef. Dano is here. Definitely check out his channel as well. He's still adjusting to the time slot. Well, so am I. But I definitely prefer it. But I'm glad you're here. Yeah, definitely check out Dane's channel. Definitely one of the greats out there. All right. How about shipping some donuts to your dad? They're not going to be hot by the time they get to New Jersey. Harlan Abraham loves those Pink Panther movies. Da-da-da-da, da-da, 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 da. I would have played the music, but I'm pretty sure I would have gotten a copyright violation because Big Brother's always watching us out here.
I always think of it more as a doo-doo. That
was one movie series that definitely did not need to get remade. I will say that. Jets Mess, yes, the show is boring so far. I agree, and tell Bobby we said hi.
Is that a Bobby line?
Oh, yeah, Bobby. Everything bores Bobby. Yeah, the wheel, women, breathing, it all bores the living hell out of him.
He just wants to come on and talk.
That is, I've noticed, yes. Although it's like In the God of the Vita, if you're a DJ playing that in the 60s, it's like a 22-minute song. You just let Bobby go and you can go take a leak. It's great. All right, so a couple other things that a couple other random questions I had in mind. We talked about, do you have any surprise as far as the roster construction goes? Before I did actually a video a couple weeks ago, my projected 53-man roster. and already it looks a little bit different than what it did before. So I've been thinking, I'm going to answer this first, and I'll give you a moment to think about it. See the great Harry W. here. Hey, Harry. Yeah, met him a while ago when I came up to New Jersey for opening week, and we met on Coney Island along with a whole lot of other folks. Jeremy was there too, having his veal parm, as I remember. And yep, good to have Harry here tonight.
There's nothing Harry can't do in this world. Remember that, Harry. You're a wiener.
That'll be on a Hallmark card one day, folks. So I was thinking about possible surprises to make the roster and possible surprise cuts. The guys who are going to come out of nowhere that could snatch a roster spot at the expense of somebody who might lose it. And one player I did not expect to make this roster that very well could is Tariq Cohen. Bram Boyer is speaking wonders about him, and it's going to be, you know what? I am actually going to watch the Hall of Fame game this year, and I don't know if I have ever done that before, besides the last year when the Jets were playing, because I want to see how these kickoffs work. I want to see what different teams do. But Cohen, you know, we talked about it before in Chicago. When he was good, he was one of the best in the league, and he's just dealt with the injury issues. And the Jets are taking chances on some of these guys who have been good in the past but are coming off injuries to try to upgrade that because, you know, when the Jets have had their best teams, they tend to have dynamite special teams. You know, with the Westhoff days, even going back to the days of Bruce Harper. So, and, you know, all the great kickoff returners. We have more great kickoff returners than we have great quarterbacks, which is just sad, but it's true. I mean, I made a wheel of quarterbacks. I should make a wheel of kick returners, right? But I think Cohen has a very good chance to maybe steal a roster spot. And the one I feel more confident in him, but I think about Takk McKinley. And even though I like that he's making an impact, for me, I got to see him do it in a preseason game. I got to see him do it when the pads are on. And I got to see him do it then. So those are two surprises I have in mind. So what do you think about those two? And did anybody come to your mind as a possible surprise to make the 53?
Yeah, I mean, you know, earlier I was starting to have doubts about you know, guys like Brownlee. You know,
to get cut. Okay.
Yeah. They're thinking he's going to get cut, and I'm wondering if he's going to be in the roster. But I think the little bang up job to Gibson, I think, might reopen the door for him. Yeboah is a guy who is, I think, improving his chances in my mind. Like, I thought this might be the end of the Yeboah era. I was starting to think that was a possibility, given all the running backs and everything that we're doing. And that's becoming further away in my mind. I'm thinking Yeboah's getting safer and safer, and actually I think might even get an opportunity to get some reps, you know, and actually, you know, like real playing reps, and actually make a little bit of a difference there. So he's a guy who I think is surprised, you know, or I was concerned about, that I think is kind of earning a roster spot. And then I'm kind of thinking Tariq Cohen, you nailed it. I mean, he's really the one that, out of everybody, he's really the one that I did not expect going in to have much of a chance. But with all the weight loss, the speed that they're saying they say they're seeing with him, the explosiveness, the fact that he has experience. I mean, if you want to go with two rookies as your RB2, RB3, that's fine. You know, but even the kid from last year, it'd be Izzy. You know, the one thing about Tariq is we get some experience there. So even if he comes as a special teamer, he's still a guy in that running back room who's been around, you know, has a history and could do it all, you know, as far as coming out of the backfield and catching passes as well. So, you know, he's I think he's the guy. I think right now he's that guy that improved his stock the most, that now we have to start thinking, oh, we might see this guy in the 53.
Yeah, and he dropped, I think he said 17 pounds. You know, he went through like a little period of maybe feeling sorry for himself a little bit when he was injured. I mean, because he had two very serious injuries in a row. Like, I think he got hurt while rehabbing from the first injury. I think it was ACL and I want to say Achilles, I want to say. So, yeah, but he said he got up to about 207 or 208, and now he's back down to 190. I mean, for some of us, 190 is a goal. 190 be my warning point. But
I love it.
yeah.
I love 190. Oh.
Well, it depends what the 190 is made of. That I guess that's probably what that would be. But yeah, but I think but I got to see from McKinley. I've got a weird feeling. Before I was going to mention a defensive player, but actually I want to spend a second on the offense. I am very hard pressed to imagine a scenario where 4 tight ends do not make this roster. It's very hard. Conklin is going to be there. Ruckert, I'm pretty sure is going to be there. You just signed Anthony Ferkser. I don't think his roster spot is guaranteed, but he's got a good history of producing in the league. He is a pretty useful player. Then you got Kenny Yeboah, who has been excellent on special teams. And Rodgers has seemed to like throwing the ball to him a little bit. Now, we haven't heard his name as much this week, but he has proven he can do a few things over the middle. And most of all, we've got Kuntz. You can't forget him. I don't see the Jets letting 2 of those players go to the market. I don't see that happening. I have a feeling they would put on an extra tight end for blocking, if nothing else, because nothing is more important than keeping Aaron Rodgers upright and healthy. The depth is better at tight end. I would not be surprised to see them go maybe like 6 wide receivers, 4 tight ends, something like that. Because how many of these wide receivers do we really need? One of those wide receiver spots is probably going to be Irv Charles because of his special teams ability.
I think they're going to have to make roster space for what
somehow.
You're saying. Well, I think there are certain things they're going to have to do. I think that our young quarterback is going to have to be, if not NFI for the entire year. Which is what I talked about in the draft. So the great thing about drafting him is we could stash him away on the injured reserve. We talked about that last year in the draft process, that we could, hey, we could stash this kid. We don't have to waste. We don't have to expose him on the practice squad. We don't have to take up a 53. We could put him in but at the very least, they're going to pup him for 6 weeks. So that gives us 6 weeks to worry about it because the injuries will take place and things happen. But it's just a roster issue. It's a numbers issue. It's like if we go 4 tight ends, it just becomes what about, okay, running back, who you cutting? Is Izzy gone? But you're saying Izzy's gone. If you're going 4 tight ends, if Tariq was to make the squad, Izzy's gone. Or on the practice squad. I mean, you just can't roster them all. You just can't. There's just no room.
It's a great problem to have, and it shows that maybe the Jets scouts and front office actually are pretty good at acquiring some talent. Just an observation. Yeah, but I felt from the beginning that it would be a 2-quarterback roster to start off. I think it's the right thing to do. And then, like Jeremy said, you can always move the roster around a little bit. But certain positions are going to have a lot of depth. Defense, you're going to have at least 19 linemen between OL and DL. No way around that. I could see maybe 4 linebackers, something like that. I mean, we'll do a more of a roster projection maybe in the next week. I think once the preseason games start to happen, I'll go back into doing that because it's the games that are really going to make the difference. How much can you really take from these practices? But yeah, I like the idea of just Rodgers and Taylor. Now, if it was Rodgers and Wilson, I'd be terrified. It's not that way anymore because I trust Tyrod Taylor. So. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I would say there. Now, Jets mess with the question. Did you watch Hard Knocks yesterday, the last episode of Hard Knocks about the New York Football Giants? And if so, what do you think JD wanted to give up for number 6? Well, first of all, I did not watch it because I don't have HBO. In fact, I subscribed for a month just when the Jets were on, pretty much against my will, but I had to watch the show. Yeah, so I guess that was the news that the Jets were at least interested in trading up to number 6. I think it would have been for Roma Dunze. As far as what it would have cost, it's hard to imagine, but I would have thought it would be to go get a wide receiver, Neighbors or a Dunze. Jeremy, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, he certainly wasn't trading up to get Olu. Which is where the story is, right? I mean, if there was a chance he was trading up to get Olu, and because they wanted to make sure, then there's no story. It was just, oh wow, we really wanted him, and we got the guy we really wanted. The story is that he wasn't the guy we really wanted. It doesn't mean we didn't want him. It doesn't mean we didn't have multiple players on a list highlighted as amazing players that would make our team better that we love. So I don't think it's controversial, but it is a little bit of a, at the last second, there was a guy that we wanted more than Olu, significantly enough that we were probably offering our 3rd round pick and probably a 4th round pick on top of it or something for next year. So we were going to offer some real trade capital, some real assets to move up to number 6. So there were guys we liked that much better than Olu, and that you could make a story of. Like that's a little bit of a story that, there's a difference in how we viewed the players. It tells me that there was at least at a very minimum a top 6 that we had separated from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, I would say so. And I guess the epilogue to that is the Jets still got, as far as wide receiver goes, I believe the 4th ranked wide receiver on their board when they got Malachi Corley at the beginning of the 3rd round. So, hey, works for me. Yeah, so no complaints whatsoever. Dane O dropping the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Yes, happy 29th. I appreciate that. As Montgomery Burns or even Javon Kinlaw might say, I hope it's excellent. Glad you could ring it in with a friend. Well, I'm still waiting for him to show up, but I appreciate that, Dane. So thank you very much. Jets mess to Nick, AIDS and diabetes. Wow, you really are in bad shape. And those are his best qualities. I'm just kidding. All right. Harlan says, Harlan always brings his opinions, even if they're not always agreed with. Jets should pick up another quarterback that gets cut. Well, I'm not quite sure who's going to get cut that the Jets should be picking up. But again, when you're down to basically $6 million in cap space right now, which was the last number that I saw, if the Jets are going to use up cap space, there's 2 places I think that cap space is going. Number one, to give Hassan Reddick a little bit more guaranteed money. And we'll talk about him in a few minutes. But I think the Jets are going to have to guarantee a little bit more money. The other thing to do is to bring back Connor McGovern on the interior offensive line. He cost like $1.25 million last year. The only interior line the Jets currently have right now that we know is making the roster is Wes Schweitzer, who has been taking out Michael Carter II's ankles today in practice. So, and, Schweitzer, he's okay, but last I checked, he was pretty banged up last year. He can't be your only depth, and I'm sorry, I don't want to hear about Olu Fashanu going to guard. The Jets cannot do with him what they did with AVT, where they move him all around the line. Then this year they come to their senses and say, okay, we're going to put AVT at this position, and this is going to be his home. You can't then draft somebody 11th overall, your future franchise left tackle next year, and say, we want you to play guard this year. We're going to move you around. To me, that's completely backwards. So to me, the money just isn't going to quarterback right now. I'm running with Rodgers and Taylor, and let's see what happens. Then if, God forbid, the worst comes to worse, then if you have to make a trade, you make a trade. But, Harlan, I can't use that limited cap space we have on a quarterback at this stage in the game.
Well, at that point, it just doesn't matter anymore. I mean, let's be realistic. This team is really, really built around Rodgers right now. And it's built that Taylor can take over for 1 or 2, 3 game run. Like, let's say it's a few games. Taylor could come in and hopefully get us 2 out of the 3 wins, gives us a shot to win any game on any day, But if you go through your 2 quarterbacks and they both get hurt, I don't care if we have a guy we picked up now or a guy that we'll end up picking up later because Rodgers gets hurt. We need a backup. It won't matter at that point. At that point, we're going to be fucked. And we're going to have to win on just ground and pound running and, with some spot passing and a defense. It's going to have to be, manufacturing special game plans. So we're going to be screwed either way. What we have to hope is that it never becomes an issue and we never need a 3rd quarterback. And sometimes there are gambles you just have to take. And that's a gamble we're just going to have to take.
Yeah, we'll have to bring back Chris Trevor, and Tony Alexio is going to have his moment in the sun again. The return of Saint Streveler. Can't you imagine that happening? What's weird? We got Grandizer here as well. Baba Booey to you as well. We are glad you're here. Oh, he's on with the Chargers guys as well. Okay, very, very cool. And he's got a question for us. Should the Jets seriously try to trade for Brandon Ayuk? Did the Jets have the cap space? What would you give up? Niners have issues at center. Okay, so I just went to overthecap.com, and it says, according to Over the Cap, that the Jets actually have a little bit under $20 million in cap space. One of my predictions, I did my season predictions last week for those who would like to go back and check that out. I made a prediction the Jets would trade for a wide receiver during the course of the season. I didn't say who, but I felt they would try. Now, Devontae Adams is going to cost a lot less for a number of reasons than Ayuk will. Bringing in Ayuk would be unbelievable. That is like the all-in of all-in moves to me. So do they have the cap space to bring him on? Yeah, because Ayuk is in a fifth-year option, basically. His fifth year, basically. I think it's his fifth year, so he's not making much money right now. What would you give up? I have a feeling it would take, at this point, it would start with a first-round pick, and I think it would cost more than that because he's that young. He is that good. And, if you bring him in, he doesn't even have to really be the true number one wide receiver. I mean, between Ayuk and Wilson, that's 1A, 1B, take your pick. That's how good both of those guys are. You are now talking about a wide receiver tandem that is, in my mind, on the same level as Hill and Waddell, Brown and Smith. You name the wide receiver tandem. I would put Wilson and Ayuk up there with anyone. But as far as issues at center, well, you know what? The Jets have issues in backup center. So I don't think it would be a player situation. I think it would be straight draft capital. And a first-round pick plus, I would say, at least two more very good 2 day 2 picks, I think would be the starting point if the Niners are going to trade Ayuk. But another thing with San Francisco, they have a history of this. Players threaten to want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. The organization doesn't respect me. Let me scrub them off social media. That'll show them how pissed off I am. That'll show how powerful I am. And then 3 weeks later, they're signing a contract. I've always wanted to be here. I'm home. And they're closing on the house. And, yeah, they're popping the champagne corks in the empty master bedroom or the living room. It happened with McCaffrey, with Samuel, with other players as well. Now, I know you can't pay everybody, but who's to say it won't be the same thing with Ayuk? Somehow San Francisco finds a way to get it done, but they got to figure out what they're going to do with Brock Purdy, because his contract's going to be a situation soon. So,
yeah,
could happen. Go ahead, John.
I think you're not going to see a before the season trade for a wide receiver. It's just not going to happen. The problem with Ayuk is capital. I mean, we have a lot of young guys that have to be signed. We're going to have to sign Garrett Wilson to probably, if he has the season, I think he's going to have the highest contract in wide receiver history. Garrett Wilson's about to go $30+ million a year. Guaranteed, probably with over 3 years of guarantee. You got Sauce that's going to have to be extended. You got, we got we're going to have a lot of problems. So bringing in yet another guy that's going to need a very big contract, also having to give up draft capital, is something I think would be an all-in move in a situation like you said during the season. If we went into the season, but I think the condition of that is if it depends. Like if Mike Williams is banged up, can't really come back, or is not really effective, if we're hurting, if Corley is not making an impact, if Mike Williams is not helping, if Lazard is the same Lazard from last year, too many drops, and we're blatantly being hurt by the lack of wide receiver, but every part of the other team looks great other than that, I could see us making the all-in move, because that's what it would be. It would be a tremendous compromise to the future of this team if we were to bring in Ayuk as far as retaining our core young players later. It would be come at a really big cost to us. Now, if Mike Williams comes back and he's week 1 there, and he's looking great, and he's a great WR2, and he's like, double Wilson, and Williams is hurting you, and Corley's getting screen passes and kind of giving us this thing we've never seen before, like kind of an Alice Kamara kind of short passing game along with Breece Hall, and we're just eating teams apart, plenty of points. I just don't think we're going to make a trade like that, because it's just not needed. So I agree. If there is a trade for a wide receiver, it would be in season because we need one really bad, and we're willing to go all in on it. Otherwise, I don't think it's, if things go well, it won't even be a need though.
Yeah, and let's be honest. If there's one team that I think would not have a terrible season this year, it's the San Francisco 49ers. Why would they be trading their pieces off when they're trying to make that last step and win a Super Bowl?
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's really the whole reason. We could see the Raiders just stinking it up this year. And oh my God, how smooth was Aaron Rodgers in that press conference today? He plays the media like a fiddle. It is a thing of beauty to watch when they keep talking about Devontae and they said, "But you said you wanted to play with them." He said, "Well, I think I really meant golf." Just genius. I love that guy so freaking much. I mean, he has some of the biggest attractive. There are people who hate him almost as much as I hate Tom Brady. I'm aware of that. But some of these just the anti-Rodgers coalition. It's just like I can see because he just knows how to play them. Oh my gosh, it is unbelievable.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I wanted to also talk about. Well, Tony is gonna. You know what? Let's talk. Let's go over to what Tony was gonna say. Sorry, Dave. My bad. Tony Alexio, is Reddick fines helping our cap space? No paradise for a 1-year rental. Okay, let's talk about that. So it does not help the cap space. If it did, I think I'd be happy for him to hold out a little bit longer. But Reddick's, so I'm going to try to break this down a little bit on exactly how this fine system works because it's more than just $50,000 a day. I'm going to try to break this. Everybody get ready to do your math. And this is the point where I wish I had a slide to give to everybody, but I don't. So here's the deal. So this is per the CBA. If a player misses 6 practices, which he has, he could be fined 15% of his prorated signing bonus, and that's an optional fine. So he could get a fine off his signing bonus. Now, with the $50,000 a day he's been fined, he would also get hit with another $300,000. So another $50,000 for the 6 days. So that's another $300,000 that he would lose. So if you combine that, the fine is up to what, 600? At this point, it's been what, 8 days? It's been last week and the first 3 days this week, right? Would that be 8 days? Does that sound right?
Today was day 7 because I remember saying
they had 1 day off. Okay, so that's 300.
I always put the money tally in every day to as a response to Rich Meany on Twitter. He'll say what day, he'll say the day, and then I put in the number. So I said 350K, which is 7.
350. Okay, so then he's also got that signing bonus fine. That's another 300. So now we're up to $650,000. Oh, not quite, because there's another $100,000 he lost for missing minicamp. Actually, I'm sorry, add another $250,000 on because he forfeited his workout bonus as well. He's already up to $1 million. It is crazy. But at some point, go ahead.
He's picking the wrong guy to do it with. It's the wrong guy. It's like you didn't do your homework. The agent did his homework. You got the wrong guy. Joe Douglas is not an emotional GM.
Yeah, Howie Roseman may be. I don't know. He could get a little bit. Yeah, he could get a little bit reactive. But it's funny because I think they both came up under the same system as I remember. But yeah, the more it goes on, the more I realize the Jets have the leverage over Reddick. Yeah, now, yes, Reddick has to get in. But again, when you're 31 years old and you're a pass rusher whose game is built off of speed, you're going into the last season for your contract. How much are you really willing to lose? You're not going to get that money back, especially if teams have this perception that you're this much of a problem. I even saw one Jet fan say, trade him. What the hell are you trading him for right now? This is a team that's going to win, that is aiming to win, I should say, this very season. So what are we going to do? Are we going to trade him for, you name the guy. We're going to get TJ Watt from Pittsburgh for him? So, yeah, I mean, I understand the frustration that he might be a me guy right now, but I still believe that the trade was made on the precipice he was going to report. That was what he told the Jets. I mean, for God's sakes, he was on the Fight 2024 series in the building. We saw him there. Somebody got in his ear and told him something different to do. So it was either that or he straight up lied. There's no other options here. So I don't expect this to go on for more than another. If it isn't settled by, I would say, the Carolina game, I'm getting a little bit worried. I know he's working out and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I want him in here by, say, the middle of August. And just give him like 2 weeks in the building. I'll be fine with that. So, yeah, I think my panic point is mid-August. How about you?
I think they're doing it. I think that mid-August. I'm not going to panic. I mean, it's disappointing. I'll be disappointed because I still think we have the defense with our offense to win and compete. So it's not like I'm throwing out the season and saying it's over. But I'll be disappointed because I certainly believe he makes our defense better. He makes our roster better. We're a better team with him. I want to see him there. So I'll be disappointed and, kind of bummed about it if we get into mid-November, August, and he's not there. I think what's complicating things is since you're not allowed to restructure within a year, I think they're probably having a double negotiation. There's probably two things happening at the same time. And one of them, the reason they might not be worried is, I don't know, one of them might be done in their mind. They may already have terms on if we can't do a longer term agreement, it's going to be, we guarantee you whatever it is, 16, 17 million guaranteed new contract for just this year. Then you could be a free agent, right? And maybe they have that verbally worked out and that's already done. But before we sign that and ink that, maybe because, so there could be a good side to this. The reason that might not be happening is maybe we're close on a long-term deal that keeps him here the rest of his career for the next 3 years. Maybe there's something really close to happening, and that's what the holdout is, because they're really trying to stretch that and not. He doesn't want to come in and play, take a chance of injury before he has a deal signed. He doesn't want to sign that short-term 1-year deal yet. The Jets don't want him to sign it until we know 100%. Can we get that longer-term deal done? And maybe it's really close, and that's what's keeping this thing stretching out, keeping it going.
It's an interesting thought because, thankfully the salary cap continues to climb because we know the Jets have a lot of players to pay in the next couple of years. And, some of these guys are going to reset the market at their respective positions. How much can you really invest in Hassan Reddick for 3-4 years? I don't think they would give him more than, say, 3 years beyond this one. I think that would be the absolute max. And to be honest, I don't think they would go past 3 more years, including this one, so 2 years after this. I just don't see them doing that because we see the Jets are trying to establish the pipeline where they let somebody walk and they bring somebody in. And again, if you have confidence, if you're a Jets fan, what position do you have the most confidence in they can coach well? It's probably defensive line. And so that's why I think we saw them bring in players like Braden McGregor and Eric Watts as undrafted free agents this year. They addressed other needs with their draft picks, and they look for that raw material. And I'm very excited to see what Watts and McGregor can do against Washington, against Carolina, against the Giants in those 3 preseason games, because that's where the impact is going to be made. And going up against this offensive line, a pretty darn good offensive line. Hearing about the struggles back and forth, I'm very interested to see where that goes. McDonald's had some moments. JJ has definitely had some moments as well. But my hope is one of these kids really does emerge because, we lost 20 sacks off this team. We can't overlook that. 20 sacks between 3 players. Somebody's got to come in and take them. Reddick will have something to do with that, but I hope one of these kids can be the next Bryce Huff.
Yeah, and hopefully McDonald will have something to do with it too.
I've got a good feeling he's going to be okay. Yeah. I'm not saying that Jake Lee, but I got a good feeling about him. Nabi, the fellow North Carolina resident, felicitations, Adam. Yes, Feliz Navidad to you as well, my friend. I'm glad you're here. All right, so let's see. Each day is a fully loaded Buick. I don't even know the context. I just like how that sounds. All right. Knob Deep. Hosan is about to get pimped down. Jeremy, can you interpret this for me?
Hosan. I think he's saying Hassan is about to get pinned down, meaning he has no choice. We own him.
We own him.
Okay. I mean, we have all the leverage. Meaning we have leverage. I mean, the leverage is so one-sided. It's such a ridiculous move that the agent did this holdout. But maybe at the very end, let's say it's a 1-year fix, right? Let's say they guarantee his money. Maybe at the very end, the last thing the agent's going to say is, instead of 16, give us 16.5 to cover the fines. Because that's what they typically do. And we'll see. It would be great if JG said no. The fines have nothing to do with me. We agreed on
Just
16. Yeah.
I know Cortland is well upstate, but just take him to the same diner where Tannenbaum and Rivas figured out the contract. There's good vibes in that bill. Same booth, same waitress, even if she's retired 15 years later, same everything. Let's go. Nick Shine has gifted a membership to the New York Sports WickerMedia channel. And oh, wow, this is the first time that this has ever happened. That
5
is
memberships.
what? Say again?
5 memberships.
I just saw, yep, Knob Deep gifting 5 New York Sports WickerMedia memberships. That means you get, as soon as I get the list of who the new members are, you will get a shout out at the end of every video, and you get the full emojis, including the wicker chair, the wheel. And I think now that I got those new memberships, I could create some more shit. Oh,
You know what,
Yeah.
I love most about these 5 gifted memberships?
What's that?
I totally forgot that somebody had gifted a membership before. Like, nah, what? 5 gifted memberships. Amazing. Nubs, you're the man. What a great supporter of the channel. I love it.
I feel so good that I got to say this. Oh shoot! Dang! Oh, I hit the mute button. My mistake. That was bad. The technology is all out of whack tonight. Now okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, yeah. There was so much going on today getting ready for the show that, yeah, the usual tech is not what it usually is, but yeah, we're still making everything work. But Knob, Nick, thank you guys so much for that. And yeah, I will be doing a few things. Jets Miss, we need elite cravat emoji. Jeremy, I need elite cravat picture now. I need all 3 cravat heads together. Right? Maybe I need to do a little
go on to Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. Otherwise, I'll email it to you. But I don't know if you could steal it off of YouTube, but if not, I could send you some of the art from. I could send you the YouTube art that we have that for the graphics of that channel.
Yeah. Oh, and let's go through real quick. Guys gifted membership. Hank G was gifted the membership by Nick. And then I had to go to my phone. I couldn't see this on the chat. Very weird. And then new members, Tony Alexio, Dane O, Stack, Yeti, and Wild Wave, the newest members of the New York Sports WickerMedia channel. Wow. We went from 2 to 7. 2 to 8.
Let's hear for Knob. My
mom and dad aren't even members. Holy shit. They figured they gave me enough money over the years. What can I say?
Yeah.
Knob Deep, when I die, y'all are going to be the only people who say good shit about me. I can't speak for anybody else, but yes, we most definitely will. I will always remember July 31st, 2024.
I will always remember your face as I suck down ramen. Knob Deep.
And I thought the most disturbing moment of the night would be when Nick came on. But
I ate a lot of ramen with.
Oh man, I got on the ramen train way too late. Yeah, I gotta get into the ramen thing again. There's a lot of Asian restaurants here. I gotta get back into that stuff again.
Go to Noodle Boulevard.
Noodle Boulevard.
Yeah.
I have seen so many cars right by Crossroads in Cary. The parking lot is always jammed for that place. Always.
Yeah, places are rocking place, and for an extra $1, you can make it udon noodles. My brother did that, and I looked at the thickness of those noodles. And I said, "That's what you do."
Ladies would agree. It's all about having a thick noodle. Scott Foster, can my member be a member? Scott, that sounds wrong on so many levels. Yeah, why not? Why not? All right. So one or two other things I wanted to mention here. And guys, we're gonna do the trivia in seriousness. We're gonna do the trivia in a little bit. We will do the wheel as well tonight. So you definitely want to check that out. Also, I know Nick, I'll do a little plug here for Nick Shine. He's gonna be on tonight at 9 p.m. And speaking of bringing out random people, shocking guests, true legends of the Jets world, which obviously we have here with Jeremy. His guest tonight, Frankie from Flatbush. He has somehow escaped the witness protection program. We are glad to hear he is alive and well. And I'm going to be tuning in for that show. I want to hear what Frankie has to say about anything and all things related to the New York Football Jets. And whatever happens, I'm sure that DVOA will be brought up at some point in the conversation. So, all right, Jeremy, I'm going to ask you a very simple question, and I want to know why. Do you believe in the summer of Lazard? Do you believe in the resurrection of Alan Lazard after last year's god-awful season, and his now possible resurrection with his old quarterback and Aaron Rodgers?
Well, when a stock is really low, it really only has one way to go. It's either going to just fizzle off and go away, or it's going to come back up. Honestly, I'm not surprised that I don't know if he's going to have his best season or bounce back that hard, but with Aaron Rodgers back, I expect him to be better. I mean, come on, we've seen what he did, and I think even Nick, as dumb as he is, as stupid as he is, as few things of quality he ever says, I think he once in his life said something smart, and he goes, if you look at Alan Lazard, his career with Aaron Rodgers, and you look at him last year, he goes, what that just shows you is Aaron Rodgers, so. If you really look, if you truly look, every wide receiver with other than Garrett Wilson, had awful years. If you look statistically, they don't look that great. What did they do? It's because we didn't have a quarterback. And the exciting part of that comment is Garrett Wilson might be having horrible seasons for Garrett Wilson. Like last year may have been a miserable season for him, because the reality is with an Aaron Rodgers, we might see that he's really a 15 to 1,600 yard, 110 reception, 14, 15 touchdown, elite top 3 wide receiver in the NFL.
I mean, my thing with Lazard is we can't expect it, because his last year in Green Bay, he pretty much was the best receiver on that team as these other kids were kind of finding their way in the NFL. He's not going to be the best receiver on this team. Here's what I'm really asking for from Alan Lazard. Don't take those idiotic false start penalties. A wide receiver taking penalties. A false start. Oh my gosh. Not even offensive pass interference, but jumping too early. And the penalties, the drops, and just the head up his rear end play. He might only get 3 targets a game. That's fine, but make the most of those targets when the other team's third or fourth best defensive back is covering you. I don't think that's asking too much, especially when we know Aaron Rodgers can, again, enhance any player's ability. I believe that with all that I am, that Aaron Rodgers will make a good receiver look great and a bad receiver look competent. It's on and on. Look at all the Green Bay receivers who left Green Bay or came to Green Bay, and their best seasons were with number 12 at the time, number 8 now. I don't think Lazard is really all that different. Now, his year last year, I think Alan Lazard was a lot like Dalvin Cook. When Rodgers went down, they came here to be with Aaron Rodgers, even though Lazard signed before the trade was official. We all knew what was going down. When that went down, his head went. And as his head went, his play went. I think those are the two that are guilty, Cook and Lazard. Gosh, and it still amazes me that Dalvin Cook was as bad as he was with this team. And we just think about positions that have been upgraded. The depth at running back is night and day. I cannot wait for Braylon Allen to run somebody over.
I mean, Braylon Allen, I'd be excited about Braylon Allen if we were a team that needed an RB1. And that was our prospect. I'd be excited. And he's our freaking RB2 because we already have an elite RB1. It's ridiculous. And then Isaiah Davis, I would never be excited about him as an RB1. To me, and I like him a lot, but to me, he is your second half wear down the defense running back. Just pound and pound and wear them down at the end of the game. When you have a lead, with Aaron Rodgers, we have a nice lead, and Isaiah Davis just seals the victory. He's like a closer. Just
Sean Green?
What?
You see Sean Green? You see like a Sean Green?
Oh, like Sean Green. Like the Giants used to do it, and I remember with Carthon and Tillman. They had a guy named Tillman, if you remember, in the early 90s, during that Super Bowl run. They did it with a guy like that. But yeah, just the kind of guy who just, you get a big lead. Hey, Brees Hall, we're gonna sit down, save your legs. We're gonna switch to a power game, and I'm sure Braylon Allen being a rookie will be in there. But I think you'll start seeing, or if he pans out, I mean, I would not be surprised if you see a guy like Davis in the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, take over and take the load and literally get 14 to 15 carries. If we have a lead, and just help run down the clock.
And this is what the Jets brought in on offense. They brought in toughness on every level. The toughness on the offensive line, bringing in Smith and Moses, and especially John Simpson in the interior. But they brought it with the skill position players, with Corley, with Davis, with Allen. Players that are not only tough with the skill position players, they don't go down on the first hit. You have to really tackle them to take them down because they are relentless. They know how to move. They know how to get every last yard. They're relentless, and those are the type of players that are going to be fan favorites. The running back, there's two types of running backs that people love. Blazers, guys that can run like 30, 40 miles an hour down the field. All right, exaggerating, but super fast down the field. And the guys who knock off tackles and get the extra yards. Especially as New York fans, we crave that mentality. We crave that approach to football. You can have the speed, but if you can run somebody over, knock that obstacle the F out of your way, we are going to be buying your jerseys like they're peanut M&Ms. We are going to gobble that shit up. And I don't even eat chocolate when I use that analogy.
What I love about our team is, aside from skill, and the skill is there. I mean, it's talent, great talent. But when have we had an identity like this, where you have a guy like, look who we just drafted in Davis, Allen, and Corley. Put that with Brees Hall, who loves to hit people, who nobody wants to tackle. And what you start to think of, and then Lazard as a blocker. Think about the physical, the physicalness of Lazard as a blocker. You start to get Ruckert as a really good blocker, right? Conklin is a tough physical tight end, even as a receiver. It's like we're starting to get this identity as a physical team, right? The offensive lineman that we brought in, Sampson or whatever, from Baltimore, super physical. Tippmann is physical. AVT, when healthy, now he's back. He's physical. Like, we're getting to be a very physical team. So it's not just talent, but it's strength. It's the ability to push the other guy around. It's the ability to stand up man to man and say, we're tougher than you are.
And I think that at some point, if the Jets are going to make a run this year, a deep run, they're going to have to go through Baltimore or Kansas City. And my guess that at least one of those games would be on the road. The physicality had to go up, and it had to go up substantially, especially on the line. And we're definitely seeing it with the offensive line. I think once Reddick comes in, you have a more physical player than Bryce Huff was. Great as Bryce is, won the run stopper. Reddick could play both sides. We know what Johnson could do as a two-way defensive end. So all those things are very, very encouraging to me as well. Chat's getting crazy talking about food snacks and fruit snacks and things like that. And chat's going off the deep end tonight. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. It is now. So we've been here for about an hour and 15 minutes. Jeremy's been with me here about an hour or so. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's do a couple of things tonight, but I think it is time for that very special time that we have every single week. When I bust open the books, I go through the websites, I do the research, and I challenge you, the most loyal fans of the most loyal fan base in all of the NFL. Just how much do you know about your New York Football Jets? So if you are all ready, let's play Jets Trivia. Welcome to Trivia. All right. So, and remember, guys, we will be doing the wheel after this. Thank you for all the likes, the new memberships tonight. Absolutely fantastic. Means a ton. All right. So we will be doing the wheel tonight. First time I think I've done it with Jeremy on the show. I don't know if we did it on Nick's channel together. Is this going to be
I've seen your wheel before. I think it's on Nick's channel.
All right, but this is the first time that we actually get to do one together. So this is going to be, this is definitely going to be a cool moment. All right, so the trivia question tonight. Now, what I try to do, as everybody knows, is I try to make them relevant to what's going on. I try to make it related. I've already got every question ready to go for the entire Jets season, from preseason all the way to the last game of the year against the Miami Dolphins in the regular season. So I was thinking it's July 31st. What am I going to do? All right, so tonight's question, I had to relate it to the number 43 because the truth is, I know, Nick, I sent you the link earlier today through Twitter. I sent you the link earlier, buddy. I sent it this morning. Check your Twitter. Put it in the I put it in the group chat. But I definitely sent the StreamYard link, so check it. Yeah, but I definitely did not leave you hanging. All right. So, well, Nick will definitely be on for the wheel, but I'm going to have to. Sorry about this, guys, but all right. I got to bail Nick out, guys. All right. And first of all, guys, I'm sorry. The answer is not going to be Lee Cravette tonight. But what I'm going to have to do, what I wanted to do was related to the number 43, because as of today, I am now 43 years old. So tonight's question, we're going to give you 5 minutes. Throw your answers down there in the chat, and let's see if you can get it. Name the last Jet to wear number 43, and your time starts now.
Jesus Christ.
I'm only asking for one name. Hey!
Jerome Henderson.
It was not Jerome Henderson.
Damn.
He almost came in quick. Last week, the chat got it in like 1 minute, but today not so much. Let's see. All right, David D says Vlad Ducasse. No, Big Vlad was number 62.
Yeah,
and
43 would be a secondary guy, right? It would be a guy in the secondary.
The way numbers are given out these days, you never know.
Mm-hmm. 43 is such an awkward, weird number. I can't think of a Jet ever to have the number 43.
It really is.
Didn't Jerome Henderson wear it?
I thought Jerome Henderson's number was in the 20s. I thought you were at 27.
I don't know. I thought 43.
Darren Sproles.
We wish that could have happened.
Right.
Kerry Rhodes was 25.
Right. And of course, no looking up the Glenn Cyclopedia, no looking it up. Guys, this number is so sad.
Harlan saying John Riggins.
John Riggins wore 44. Very close, but not quite.
I'm waiting for Harlan to say, no, young man. Before he went to the Redskins, he was 43. And
I like that he went with Buster Screen, the jailbird. I don't even remember what Buster Screen was. I try to expunge him from my memory,
43.
I'm going to tell you this much. Only 10 players in Jets history have ever worn 43. I think this number is cursed.
Thomas Hennessy's 48, right?
Eric McMillan?
Say again?
Eric McMillan?
Oh, it's 22.
I will say this. It's been in the last 5 years. So we're not going back that far.
I'm going to guess Lamar Jackson.
It was not Lamar Jackson.
Okay. I'm just thinking of guys who barely played.
Yeah.
And may have had the number and didn't make anything of it.
Linebacker. Think of a linebacker.
Scotty McKnight. No, not Scott. I don't know if Scotty McKnight ever did. He
Joe
ever
McKnight was 25 also.
Yeah, rest in peace, big Super Joe.
43. 53. Not Blake Cashman, right? He was.
Blake was 53.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcus May?
No,
22.
26 and 22.
26 and 22.
Thanks.
I think that Dane's just coming up with generic names, hoping it'll hit.
Yeah, John Doe. I guess John Doe because it's an unidentified male. We can't identify this guy.
With Martindale.
Also, hi everyone.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, Nick will be on at 9 p.m., joined by, I believe, Frankie from Flatbush tonight. Is that correct?
Hi, Adam. Happy birthday. Hi, everyone in the chat. That's everyone I want to say hello to. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Well, who's the safety who went to that we lost and went to the Giants? The kid that we picked.
I know who you mean.
Jason Pinnock?
Yeah,
it's not just Jason Pinnock. Got a minute 15.
Wait, was it a linebacker, or was that just said? Is that an actual clue from Adam, or is that Jeremy throwing it out?
I was guessing that it was a linebacker.
Right. Can we get the position, Adam, after we're this far in?
Yeah, he's a linebacker. And he had a career of a couple of years in the NFL. Only had 1 year with the Jets, though. But he did play some game. He did play for them. As a matter of fact, this guy played 17 games.
New Orleans, the kid from New Orleans.
Neville
Hewitt? No, not Neville Hewitt. Yeah, Dane, 1 year with the Jets, but played all 17 games, so he was on the field.
Not
the
Lorenzo
great Sean
Malden.
McAteer is here. Sean, thank you very much. I appreciate
Not Lorenzo Malden, right?
What?
Lorenzo Malden?
I think he was 55.
No. Yeah, and then the other one, Jordan Jenkins, was 48.
48, right? Which looks like a 43, I guess, from a certain angle.
If you're held, right? If you're playing the Chiefs and you're held the whole game, it might be.
And you're squinting, right. Yeah, it works. Dane with Hazram Nasruldeen. No. 10 seconds left, guys. It is a linebacker, and he also played for Baltimore and Buffalo.
Baltimore and Buffalo. Sounds
3.
Hey, hold on. Baltimore and Buffalo.
Would you like me to give you his year with the Jets? What year it was?
Sure.
2021.
Number 43 in 2021. We were the last team he played with?
Well, that rules out Michael Brim.
What?
I said that rules out Michael Brim. What about the kid from New Orleans that we got for 1 year and then sent him back?
I'm trying to think who that would be.
There was a linebacker we signed. We signed him in 21. He was garbage, and we said we let him back, and he went back to New Orleans.
This guy didn't play for New Orleans. I can promise you that. He started with Buffalo, went to the Jets, and had 2 years in Baltimore. His last year was 2023. So he was in the league up until this past season.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I give up.
All right. I'm just giving you the stats. 17 games, 1 fumble recovery, 31 tackles, and 2 tackles for a loss. The correct answer is Del'Shawn Phillips.
Wasn't he an edge rusher?
With Pro Football, he's ranked. He's listed as a linebacker for every season.
Okay.
So, yep. So it was Del'Shawn Phillips.
That was a good one.
Well, yeah. It was a very obscure Jet. I mean, had it been somebody who played with the team 20 years ago, that would have been a little rough. But it was 3 years ago. So, but I wouldn't. It would took me forever to think of his name too. But yeah, played all 17 games that season, which says a lot about our defense.
Nice.
So, all right, guys. So tell you
what, the band back together. This is nice.
Yeah,
I missed the 3 of us being together.
It wasn't that long ago.
Well, we just we did my show. What?
A little while ago.
A few months ago.
Pre-draft, post-draft? I forget. It was April or May.
Around that time. Yeah, that's right. David D. The Del'Shawn Phillips. Absolutely. He might be on the wheel next week. You don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll go really well. Yeah, like most obscure Jets wheel. We could do something like that.
Just so you know, Hank makes a good point. We all knew the answer, but we wanted you to stump us on your birthday. So that's the gift that we're giving to you today, Adam. You stumped us on your birthday. We all knew that there was an apostrophe in the guy's name, for crying out loud. Come on, pal.
I'm deeply touched. Okay, so all right, I'll tell you what, guys. Let's get right into it. So we are
still wearing the hat too, huh?
Oh yeah, we got.
What's funny is when you're sitting there normally, the hat is blocking the letter A in travel, and
I know.
Yeah, it's funny.
That is funny. Yeah. You still have the hat on.
I'm switching hats.
Oh, now, yeah, there you go. He's got multiple birthday hats on.
I got multiple hats. Dollar Tree, 9 for $1.25. Black, silver, and gold. What do you want?
Nice. I'll take black.
Family no green ones. All right. So here's
I'm
what we're going to do.
take this
So we
thing
are going
out
to do
of
the
the sheath
wheel.
in my boot, and when I put it back, it's going to have blood. That's just from a favorite movie of mine.
All right. Couldn't have said better. Okay, so let's do the whole deal. We are going to spin the wheel tonight. I think we're going to let's do the 100 Jets wheel. I think we got to go with this is the first time I think we've done the wheel that I remember with all three of us here. So,
I believe so.
Yeah, I think we got to go for the gold and go for the big one right away. And maybe we'll even do a second wheel tonight, just depending on how everything goes. So, let's see. So, I got to pull up the 100 random wheel. There we go. And now we're going to go ahead and share the screen. Spin the wheel. And allow. And now I'm going to max it out. All right. And I'll be watching the chat through my phone. And now everything should be blowing up in just 1 second. Yep, everything looks good. So, Nick, I'm actually going to give you the honors tonight because you do it as well as anybody I know. Would you like to introduce to Jeremy and to everybody in the chat and everybody watching the mystique of the wheel?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. All right. So there's 100 names on the wheel. We are going to blindly rank the names that come out. Now, there are probably a dozen elite Jets all time on here. There are probably another 20 to 25 very good, if not great Jets. There are 15 good players, and then there's probably about 40 piles of steaming horse manure. So we have to use our logic, our rationale, the chaos of the wheel, if you will, Jeremy and Adam, and the wackiness of the wheel on a Wednesday, if you will. And we have to try to hope that the wheel is gracious and kind to us and gives us good names, but it normally doesn't. I normally prepare for massive piles of crap and plan accordingly. So we have to factor that in. The chances of getting Revis, Klecko, and Gastineau all on one wheel are slim. There are times where Santonio Holmes is number 2, and rightfully so. So buckle in, buckle up, put on your hockey helmet, and let's get ready to get wild here.
And getting wild, we are going to do. So we are going to do our 10 spins. We're going to blind rank and chat. Remember, it is up to you when you see that name pop up on the screen. Put there in the comments what number you want him to be ranked on our list. And of course, before each wheel, write down in the chat who you think it's going to be that we land on. And if we land on that player, you can pick wherever that player goes. You have sole choice. So tonight, both myself, Jeremy, and Nick will all make our predictions before each spin on who we're going to land on. So let's see how it goes tonight. So spin number 1.
Blair Thomas.
What, Brian Thomas?
Blair. We're going massive piles of shit today. If I predict massive piles of shit, big names come out. So we're going horse manure factory here. We're making glue, baby.
Okay, Jeremy. So what are your thoughts? Who do you think we're going to land on, and how confident do you feel that we're going to have a Ring of Honor worthy wheel tonight?
Real quick, if I could interject here, since Jeremy wanted to talk trash about me when I was in the chat, it's now my turn to rebuttal face to face. I will tell you Jeremy's thoughts. I wonder what we're getting for dinner. Okay, go ahead.
I think that from past experience, where it's not going to be a very impressive list.
Okay. All right. So who do you think we're going to land on with our first spin?
Oh, we're definitely going to land on Greg Van Roten.
New at starter for the Giants right now at guard.
That's right. Don't we wish we had them in the regular season? All right. And I want to say a quick hello to the great GVH saying happy birthday, Watsu-K99, and sup, fellas. Thanks for coming by, buddy. And you're here just in time for the wheel. JQuest57 is here too. He loves the wheel. He doesn't find it boring, unlike other people. All right. For myself, I'm going to go – I got to go with my guys for tonight. I'm going to say we're going to start off with a guy we've landed on many times, Brandon Moore. All right. Now, chat. So let's see. Let's see who we have in the chat. I see Winters. I see Crabette, Mo Wilk, Joe Namath. I see a couple of different people. Okay. Well, let's spin that wheel.
Wait, this is my favorite part when you do the countdown. You get so excited to do the countdown. I love it. Like, you should do solo screen for it. You get so giddy. Go ahead.
And I probably look even more giddy than
you look
usual.
like you're getting tickled every time you do the countdown.
I know. In 3, 2, 1. Sometimes I spin on one and sometimes I spin after one. Just depends how I feel in the moment. And our first stop is a steaming pile of horse manure.
Ooh, let's go, baby. We're dropping dimes from the beginning. We're dropping a 10.
We're
dropping even have 10 sacks.
We're dropping the deuces. We're dropping the dime. That is basically it.
Hey, just like any good foundation in life, Adam, you got to start at the bottom and build your way up.
he has Vernon Gholston is as big as any bust in our history, without argument. He is absolutely the most. I can't think of a bigger bust.
No, I mean, some people could
I
put
can.
quarterbacks on a
Dwayne
different
Robertson. Dwayne Robertson, because we traded up to get him.
Yeah,
2 first-round picks and a 4.
Yeah. I mean, you could say Sam and Dwayne Robertson are the 2 biggest busts in Jets history because we gave up extra assets to go get those busts.
Right.
Yeah, Darnold did have some production. Vernon Gholston, I was actually watching the other day. I don't know. I had nothing to do. I went back and watched the Jets regular season finale in in the Meadowlands against the Bengals when they clinched the playoff spot. I know. And at one point, I saw Vernon Gholston on the sideline. I'm like, he was actually a part of that team? It blew my mind that he was even allowed on the sideline, but he was. So, and that was the only time I noticed him during the whole game was on the sideline. All right, so Scott Foster wants him to be a 20. I can't say I blame him. Yeah, this is as easy a 10 as there is. Sean says he has the Gholston jersey. I guess it comes – well, I can't imagine maybe when you're cleaning the house, it's a nice rag maybe.
Oh, my God.
Boy, oh, boy.
This is like buy jerseys of rookies, man. You never know what they're going to be.
Oh, please don't do that. They got to do something for your team first. I mean, I got a Rodgers jersey, but, I mean, it's Rodgers. Jay Quest says it looks like Adam is wearing a cone on his head. It is my 43rd birthday, Jay Quest. Yes, that's right. Okay. So Vernon Gholston is obviously number 10, and maybe we're just going to build one brick at a time. Maybe our next spin will be number 9 on our list. And with that in mind, I'm going to go there. I'm going to say number 9 is going to be Denzel Mims.
Previously mentioned in the trivia question, I'm going to go Buster Screen.
Okay.
Adrian Morrell.
Okay, chat. We're going to give you 30 seconds to put down your predictions for who we're going to land on. So throw them right down there in the chat.
Can I comment real quick on something?
No.
Kay Adams tweeted today, and I'm just seeing it now. Do we forget that Garrett Wilson had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons to start his career, 7 quarterbacks in 2 years? I'm calling it 2,000-yard season with AR.
Yep.
Wow.
2K right there.
I take back every time I wished she gained the 25 pounds back. And all I've wished for 4 years is for her to put the weight back on. 25 pounds. It's not a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing her in the Jets helmet today was not a bad sight, I got to say. It was not that bad. The chat clearly has a whole lot more faith in the wheel than we do, boys, because I see Walker and Lavertius Coles and Joe Namath and Richard Todd snuck in there too. Okay, spin number 2.
The Justin McCarrans.
Nice. I went back and looked at his career because I have no life. Can you believe we signed him to a 7-year contract?
Was it $785?
The money was pretty low, but 7 years regardless for him.
Who did that? Tannenbaum?
I think it was Bradway.
Oh, wow.
I think it was Bradway. Yeah, it was before that. It was before Tannenbaum. So, okay, spin number 2 in 3, 2, 1, spin. And it's coming to a stop on
Tim Tebow.
One brick at a time, just like we talked about.
Here's number 9. That's it.
Yeah. Robert Bartolo went for Rich Castor. Recently passed away, Rich Castor. Rest in peace.
Is that your dad?
Yeah,
Oh, hello, Mr. Bartolo.
sure is. Yep.
We hung out
The
with
cowboy of the group.
I know, but Adam keeps saying his full name like it's not his dad. That's
I know,
why
I
I'm
know.
That's just the name of the
it's
chat.
throwing
Maybe
me off.
it wouldn't
We hung
surprise
out
me if
with
it was my mom who set up an account as my dad. Wouldn't shock me. Dano wants to give Tim Tebow, wants to put him at number 6 on the countdown on the list. Wow.
Why?
If we're talking about a human being, I'll put him at number 1, no questions asked. But not investing a lot plus minimal reps, number 6 for me. We gave up, I think, a 3rd-round pick for him.
Yeah, we traded for him and he did nothing.
Nothing. I mean, he was used horribly, don't get me wrong, but
He wasn't used horribly. He is horrible.
Wasn't you?
he was as limited can be, and we put him in positions where he wasn't going to be successful. So
I'll say one thing about Tim Tebow. Okay, honestly, he made the most of the talents that he was given to him. He didn't waste his talent.
Yeah.
Like he took everything that he was given, that everything he was blessed with, and he made the most out of it. And he deserves a lot of credit for it.
Okay, but he's still a fucking 9.
I'm saying a
if
lot
we
of
were
people.
to later Browning Nagel, I think I would put Nagel below Tebow for instance. But
I mean, Brown and Nagel threw touchdown passes as a Jet. Tim Tebow did press conferences.
Yeah, but he did them well. All right, so it looks like the Nines have it. So we are going to go. I think for the first time in history, we are going 10-9 with Vernon Golston and Tim Tebow. So I'm willing. So hey, maybe we'll land on our number 8 pick next.
Yeah. So we got to remember too, we're not ranking them for what they did in college or what they did anywhere else. It's as Jets only. And if we did this whole wheel 1 through 100, both Golston and Tebow would be bottom 5 players. So we're nailing it here.
Okay. All right. Let's go around and make our picks. Jeremy, how about you go first on this one? Who are we going to land on?
I think we're going to hit Broadway Joe.
Okay, Nick?
I'm going to go Chad Cascadden.
I'm going to go Calvin Pryor.
Because the wheel listens to us. The wheel knows other names that get mentioned earlier in the show.
This is true. All right, chat. Let's see your predictions. GVH goes with James Hasty. David D says Dustin Keller. Okay. Yep, the chat continues to have faith in the good players coming up here. Sean McIntyre goes a couple levels below with Kellen Clemens. Stephen Hill says Hank G. Well, I would put Stephen Hill ahead of Tebow and Golston, believe it or not. At least he caught touchdowns. Against Buffalo, he was Jerry Rice. The rest of the time, he was Stephen Hill. All right, spin number 3 in 3, 2, 1. King Losky chiming in with Tremaine Johnson, and we're landing on Vernon Golston again, which means we are respinning this.
This has officially become the shittiest wheel ever. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 Golstons. That's like putting all of your money on black and red, and green comes out 2 times in a row.
The odds of Vernon Golston coming out twice in 3 spins. My God.
I
may have to replace him next wheel. I don't know. Oh boy. All right, let's respin that in 3, 2, 1 now.
Oh, it even took your joy of 3, 2, 1 away.
It did. I had to get rid of that so we could replace him with Kyle Wilson. Kyle Wilson. Can I move Tim Tebow up to 8 now, please?
Billy SBC. I saw Vernon Golston pushing his shopping cart full of bottles last week. Were they empty and he was bringing them back to recycle them? Remember that when you used to recycle the bottles at the liquor store?
No, he was handing him off to Kyle Wilson, who took him to their fucking recycling center.
I mean, 8. Let's go.
It
started from the bottom. Now we're here.
The guy was allergic to interceptions. The penalties. Oh my gosh. They drafted this guy number 1. I couldn't stand it.
Piscataway, New Jersey's own Kyle Wilson, by the way.
Great.
Just
So are
a
the
couple
McCourties
pounds
over the
over.
Patriots. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Adam. 4 spins and 4. Each pile of shit's getting bigger. One pile of shit you actually stepped in twice with both feet.
I stepped in twice. You guys, yeah, okay.
Hey, you hit the spin button. It's all you, pal.
All right. Well, yep. Kyle Wilson,
All
number
right,
8.
so now we have to look for what other 10s are here.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Doug Bryan. I'm going Doug Bryan. We need another 10.
I think Doug Bryan is where the wheel ends tonight. You know what I'm talking about? I think the end is Doug Bryan. I'm going Vlad Dukas.
Nice. That's it. Just pick shit, Jer.
It's gonna be Calvin Pace.
That's better.
That's a good one. That might move up to like, well, this wheel, he might be a 2.
followed by Richard
Another
Todd.
guy who got a 7-year. What'd he get? He got 6 years. Bart Scott got 7, or was it vice versa? One got 6 years, 42. I think the other one got 7, 49.
I think Pace got. It would have made Scott that Scott did because he came in later. I don't remember the contract terms, but
I know they both got long deals.
Yeah, they did. I mean, yeah, Pace was just very good and solid for a while. So, I mean, yeah. Okay. All right. Chat, let's see. Zach Wilson, D. Milliner, Jay Samaro. Hey, G, yes, Jamal. Maybe we'll get Kyle Wilson again the way we're going tonight.
So if you get Vernon Golson for a third time, you don't say anything. You just end the stream. You just end the stream if Golson comes out for a third time.
Oh, boy. All right. Here we go. Spin number 4 in 3, 2, 1. Spots 1 through 7 are still open. And it's coming to a stop on. Now we're talking.
All right. There you go.
With more Pro Bowl appearances than any other in history. Was with the Jets for over a decade. Winston Hill also had a barbecue restaurant in the Denver International Airport on a side note.
7, just to keep the wheel going from the bottom to the top. That's it. We just build it blindly from the bottom to the top.
This is this would be the building block is what this would be. But yeah, Hall of Famer, inaugural Ring of Honor member. Guys, I got no problem putting him at the very top of the list. I would go 1.
The way this has been going, there are a few that would make me regret it, but I mean, I think if you're going to play the odds, he's going to be the number 1 player on this list.
You don't know the wheel. Now, this is where the wheel turns, and it goes Revis, Klecko, Namath, Martin. Next 4 spins.
Yeah, but you can still make the case. Hill was as good of a Jet as there was.
Oh, yeah.
Considering his – now, most of us didn't watch him play, most of us. But, yeah, from everything you hear, I mean, he was a rock. I mean, he helped Namath do everything that he did. I mean, he was Namath's left tackle. So,
yeah, Harlan.
So Winston Hill's the reason Namath threw all those interceptions?
That would be true, too.
Maybe if he would have blocked for a little less, it would have been sacks instead of interceptions.
Maybe it would have been 2 straight Super Bowls. I don't know. Scott Foster with a 3, Hank G with a 1, Harlan with a 1. Sean says 3 because we're not.
I'll say a 2 just to keep 1 open because I have faith that we're going to get a massive name on your birthday. We have to, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It would be more fun to keep it 2 open, to keep 1 open.
Okay. All right. I'm game.
You're what?
Billy says he and Namath went to the Rams together, didn't they? I think he went to the Broncos, but I could be wrong. He wants to look that up. All right, I'll put Winston Hill at 2. No problem. We'll leave 1 open as long as we can. All right, so far, guys, we've got Winston Hill at 2, Kyle Wilson at 8, Tim Tebow at 9, and Vernon. I didn't want to say this. It's so. Oh my gosh. Vernon Golson at 10. I'm gonna need a shower after this wheel's done. All right, we're up to spin number 5. Now we've gone from the bottom of the barrel to the top. I think this is just going to be an extreme wheel all night. I'm gonna go with who Nick said earlier. I'm gonna go with Buster Screen.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with a big fatty. I'm gonna go with Chris Jenkins.
I'm going to go with someone who kind of caused a little controversy in where we should put him. Pat Leahy.
He is one of the more controversial names that comes up when we land on him. There is no question about it. All right. Chat, I see Vinny. Okay. See Chris Jenkins. Give you guys about another 10 seconds, so please throw your names in.
Patrick Leahy.
Still could make a field goal beyond 40 yards if his life depended on it. Just saying.
But you can bet your life he'll make the 38-yarder.
Yeah, but back in the 80s, there was 24 guys who could kick a ball, and they just all happened to be in the NFL. So you kept your job. There was no guys coming up behind you. You were there until your leg fell off in your mid to late 40s, like the Andersons.
Before somebody said, hey, we ought to get one of those soccer players to come kick it.
We did that. We brought in Tony Meola. Remember in the early 90s? We brought in the U.S. soccer goalie. He could kick the ball 140 yards, but it was like to the right and the left, never straight.
We were joking about bringing in Carly Lloyd. Remember that? From the women's soccer team, but she's an Eagles fan, so what are you going to do? All right, guys. Spin number 5 in 3.
Wait, I got to change mine. GVH took Chris Jenkins, so I'm going to take another name. I'm going to go Wayne Hunter. Let's go back to shit.
There we go. Yeah,
that's the type of shit we need today.
Yeah. All right. I got my rhythm back. In 3, a 2, a 1.
A 1. A spin.
What do we have here? What do we have coming up here? We're going to have another name?
On Foley Fatukasi.
Ooh.
Only here for a couple of years, but probably the best late-round pick that Mike McCagnon ever had. That's not saying a whole lot. And now he's kind of working his way around the league. But was a nice player for a period of time. So, guys, we have spots 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 open. What are we thinking?
6.
Yeah, he was an okay player. He wasn't a bum like the other guys. He was good. I wouldn't argue if you put him at 5 just because if you put him at 6, isn't 7, 8, 9, 10 full?
8, 9, and 10 are full.
Okay, 6 is okay. I just think you have to leave one spot after him because I think we'll get one more guy that's worse than him for sure.
Yeah, that's my logic. And when Adam starts reading off his bio, and the best thing about him is the best late round draft pick by Mike McCagnon. That's not a really great career. Like that's yours. You know what I mean? Like Antonio Holmes caught the touchdown pass, multiple walk-off TDs, Sean Green, touchdowns in the playoffs, Fatukasi, the best of Mike McCagnon's draft.
See, this was your
tell me where I'm wrong.
Nick, this was
I'm
your
just saying, that's why it's a 6.
Nick, this was your boy Harrison Glazer's like favorite freaking Jet 3 years ago.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he freaking loved him. He interviewed him. He got him on his show.
Me and Nicky are going Saturday. I got to meet up with him.
Yeah, he got him on his show. He interviewed him. He loved him. Fatukasi, you got the best get off. You got the best get off in the NFL.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, the chat's leaning towards 5. We got a couple of 6s, but we got a couple of 5s as well. I think I would probably go 6. I think that's about right. Guys, we're leading 6 here.
If there's anyone who has a great get off that I know, according to Adam and Knob Deep, Jeremy, it's you when the bill comes. Jeremy didn't even have a response.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
I hope Knob is still here. Damn it.
All right.
I don't know. I just make shit up on my man.
All right. Now, he paid for his portion of the garlic knots and the deep dish pizza. He was good. All right. So, all right. Foley's doing
Where did you guys go? You guys went to that pizza place you always loved down there?
We actually, I have been there. Well, we went to we did go to Nefaro, but we also went to Acme Pizza, which was a new place for us.
Acme, the shopping center?
It has the same name, but it wasn't a shopping center. It was all, Chicago, mostly Chicago style place.
We got the Nick Shine pie. It's called the Meathead pie.
Meat lovers?
Oh, it was called the Meathead. I had like 5 meats in it.
Adam, can I take you to task on the Mike McCagnon comment earlier?
Go for it.
Would you call Brandon Shell, who started as a tackle with multiple teams, a better draft pick? Granted, he was a 5th rounder.
He's kind of drifted his way around the league a little bit, but I mean, when he played, it's like he was okay, like he was serviceable, but I mean, you could put him about on the same level. But I don't know.
Okay.
I give probably a slight edge, but maybe it's because he played more with the Jets, I guess, than Shell did. At least it feels that way. But it's a fair question.
You see, when you're playing the spin wheel with the Jets, if you're a New York Jet that had one good game in your career, like if you had this game that you played well, you're probably a top 6 guy.
This is why we remember Aaron Maben. Okay. Speaking of somebody, I should put Aaron Maben on the wheel. Yeah, he needs to be added too. Okay, so to recap, we've got Winston at number 2, Winston Hill. Number 6, Foley Fatukasi. Number 8, Kyle Wilson. Number 9, Tim Tebow. And number 10, Vernon Golston. So we got 5 spots left, guys. All right. So I think we're going to have a better Jet this time, but maybe not the best Jet. I'm going to say we got to get a little controversy. I'm going to say Robbie Anderson. We're going to land on the chosen one. Nick, Jeremy?
I'm waiting for Jeremy. I see him. We're both doing the same thing. I'm scanning, but I'm looking at him, and he's scanning too.
Mickey Schuler.
Okay.
Ooh.
Would probably go number 1.
I'm going to go Richie Anderson.
Richie, why you kill Bobby Lupo? Okay.
Why you kill him with Bobby Lupo? I remember Steven Seagal. Hard to kill.
Yep, hard to kill.
Or hard to kill, whichever.
All right, Junk. All right, we got the Terminator. I see Darren Lee, Lorenzo Malden. I don't think he's on the list, but all right, well, cool. We'll go with it. Yep, Denzel Mims. All right. Billy, I don't think I put Rick Meyer on the wheel. I don't think I could. I wouldn't dare do that to the wheel. But, all right, guys, spin number 6 of the night in 3, 2, 1. Spin. And it's coming to a stop on Bilbo.
Oh.
Nice.
This name hurts my heart.
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever landed on him before.
This should have been the greatest linebacker the New York Jets ever had. And then we brought in Mangini. We went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and they traded him away. And that was the last jersey that I purchased, was the Vilma jerseys. I had a green, a white, and a white authentic.
Wow.
Never again.
Wow.
I swore off jerseys after that, and I said they're a fucking scam. How do we trade away the best linebacker we're ever going to draft?
Unbelievable.
That hurts. And off to New Orleans he went. The only good thing is they trade him out of the conference so he didn't come back to kill us every year. But, yeah, I mean, Vilma was like a very engaging guy, and that you see him now in his broadcasting career. But I would listen to his radio interviews, and he knew how to handle the questions very, very well. And, man, that speedy linebacker, man, but still very, very tough. It was a very smart draft pick. It just was definitely not long enough. That's what she said. Thank you. GVH, what's open?
It's either 1 or 3.
That's also what she said.
Exactly. 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
It's got to be 1 or 3, right? I mean, it's got to be.
I can't put Vilma above Winston Hill. Vilma was here like, what, 4 years tops?
I'm pulling it now.
Right.
4 years.
Yeah.
1 Pro Bowl. Led the league in tackles in 2005, his second year.
Got at least a 3.
I say a 4. You got to keep like that. Like we got that buffer after Foley. I think we should have that buffer above Foley too for now.
Okay, you're feeling good. You're feeling good about the spin then, because we'll have 2. We'll still have 1 and 3 left. But okay.
Yep, we have 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7 left, guys. Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, we'll go 1, 3. If we put him at 4, we have 1, 3, 5, 7 left. Like we have a buffer to put. Is he better than this guy? Worse than that guy? Like we have openings.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, look who just invaded the chat. It's Tigo. What's
G
up?
to the Izzo, I to the Geo.
And Tigo was his name in the new Tigo mansion that he is now the proud owner of. Already on the wheel, dude. We've been on an hour and 55 minutes already. So, okay, let me see what I can do here. 1 second, guys. This is going to look ugly for about a second here, but I think we're going to get a little bit of someone's going to join us. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show, Tigo.
Happy birthday, friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to pull the wheel back up. Go. All right, how's the new place working out for you, first of all?
So it's not a new place yet. So we moved out of our old place and went to Daytona because we had to be there for a little bit over a month. And then we're back in this place before we move into our new place next month.
And I need to sing the song. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Honestly.
Is your new place going to be in there? Is your new place?
Winslow, Sarasota, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo,
Now you're just listing cities. We have no way of knowing if this is true.
Is your new place going to be in the Orlando area?
Yeah. We're just moving to the other side of Orlando.
Okay.
I'm by UCF now. I'm going to be closer to Disney. Not close to Disney, but just a lot of people know where that is. So that'll be.
Where are you at? You in your Winter Garden?
Yeah, actually, right there.
Okay.
So the next town over.
Harlan, thanks for swinging by. The great Harlan Abrahams got to step out. Thanks for coming by. I see Clancy here as well. Clancy, thanks for joining us tonight. And this has been
Clancy's in for the Jacksonville game. I'm in with Nikki for the Jacksonville game. Tigo's in for Jacksonville. Adam, I talked to you earlier. You got to be there for that game.
I told you
it's a drive. It's not even that far of a drive.
When is that?
To Jacksonville in what, 9 hours?
December
9
15th.
hours.
Wow, that would be an incredible birthday present to myself. To tell my wife, man, I'd love to go to Jacksonville, see my friends, and see a Jet game.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, now that I don't have my presidential obligations anymore, I do have a little bit more flexibility than I did, and I definitely want to get somewhere where there's a group going on, but it's tough on the Thursday and Monday games, but this one could work out. Now, I do want to ask this question. That game's December 15th, so there's a chance that game could get flexed, right?
Yes.
It could be.
Wouldn't shock
But
me.
you have to ask yourself, is that game, is Jacksonville going to be good enough to get flexed to prime time?
And
That's
if Jacksonville is good enough, that's a game CBS is going to want to protect.
Exactly. We have to. It's a whole thing because there was the Houston game should have gotten flexed. I think the last year, and it didn't because CBS protected it. That's a great question. What other games are going on that week? That might is the Sunday night game that week even that bad? What is it? Week 15?
I think it's week 15. Well, it's December 15th. I don't know if it's also week 15.
Yeah, that's so.
Sounds right. Sounds
close. 14, 15, week 14, 15.
So here's the big games.
Yeah, it's week 15.
You got Rams and Niners is Thursday night. You got Chiefs and Browns on at 1.
Ooh.
You got Dolphins and Texans at 1.
Wow.
You got Jets, Jaguars. You got Bills and Lions at 4:25. Fox probably whoever's at CBS or Fox will protect that one.
Yeah,
but here's the problem: the Monday night games. The Monday night game is Bears Vikings. They're gonna want to move that out because the Bears aren't going to be good in either of the Vikings.
There's 2 Monday night games that week. Actually, there's Bears Vikings and Falcons Raiders.
There's 2 Monday night games that week? Wow.
I didn't think you could flex the Monday night, right? I thought you could just flex the Sunday night.
Can you not flex
the Sunday night game is Packers Seahawks.
I don't think they flex that.
Yeah.
You can't flex the Monday. You can only flex
the Monday? I am
mistaken. My apologies. There's logistics with
Sunday game
availability and all that.
Yeah, I think Sunday, but not Monday. That sounds right.
I think the agreement with the fans is that we could flex it to Sunday night. That's what's on the agreement.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we'll see how that schedule comes down.
They
comes
can
down.
flex. The only games that cannot be flexed are Thursday night football. Any game on Sun, they can flex Sunday to Monday and Monday back to Sunday.
That's
from weeks 12 to
outrageous.
17.
Wow.
That's according to NBC.
That makes travel plans hard.
Exactly.
But like,
That'll
would
be
they
our
not
luck. That'll
flex
be our
the
luck.
Chiefs?
We book all these flights and then fucking they move it.
If they flex both Monday games, which I don't think they will, they would for sure flex Chiefs, Browns, and/or Dolphins, Texans before they flex Jets, Jags. Do we really think the Jags are going to be that good?
I don't think. I think you're right.
No.
I think the other two sounds like more meaningful games.
Never mind. You can't flex Thursday. I was going to say Rams 49ers, but that's a Thursday night game.
I would seriously doubt it. I would think it would have to be extraordinary circumstances for them to flex a Sunday game to a Monday. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I just think that's a big move.
They could also
to flex
it
Thursday night.
from 1 o'clock to national. They could flex it to like 4:25.
Yeah,
the national game on a Sunday.
They can only flex Thursday night games twice a year.
Wow.
Twice a year.
Yeah, like between weeks 13 to 17, they're allowed to flex 2 games all year.
Would they really do that to us? I mean, we have so many to start the season.
It's crazy how many prime time
They
games.
wouldn't flex us. That's what I'm saying. I don't think
If we're 12-1, we're getting flexed.
God, remember, we owe the NFL one apparently.
But if we're
How many
12-1,
primetime games do we have?
CBS is going to protect it.
What's the Cowboys rule? How many primetime games do we already have? What's the max you can get?
I believe, the Thanksgiving game is different. So I think you can get 5, and then you can be flexed into 1 more. Or 6, and then you can be flexed.
I think
for the
6
7.
sounds right. I think 6
It's
is the number
6.
that's in front of my mind. Yeah.
No matter what,
doubt-
regardless of what your games are, you're allowed a maximum of 6. But the Thursday night game does not count. I mean, Thanksgiving does not count as a primetime game, and that's the Dallas Cowboys rule because they want more Cowboys on primetime.
Right. I seriously doubt if we get flexed like for the for a 6 game, whatever it is, and it's gonna like Tigo says, I doubt it's gonna be for the Jaguar.
We can't get flexed. We're already at the maximum number.
No, the new flex
so we're
rules,
good.
you can go 1 above. You can be scheduled for 6, but I believe you can go above 1 more.
But why would they do Jacksonville if they were going to do it?
We don't know how the season's going to go. Maybe Jacksonville
Maybe
10
the
and
wild
3.
card spot. Both teams could be in the wild card race. Crazier things have happened.
I mean, it could, but it's unlikely. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's unlikely, but you never know.
I mean, it's enough that I would book my flight if I did it. I would book my flight to include the possibility of the game being on Monday.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This travel is nuts. All right. Well, we're going to cross that bridge when we come to it. But hey, hopefully we'll all be down there for some day of the week for Jets Jaguars, whether it's Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday morning. We don't know when it's going to happen. But we do know what's going to happen now. Yeah, we're going to resume the wheel. And for the first time, we've got Tigo on to help us out with the wheel. Tigo, I know you've done a lot of amazing things, getting married, having a child, all of that. But this just has to be a good old-fashioned Orlando kick in the butt for you, isn't it?
Yes, sure. Why not?
The shortest answer Tigo's ever given.
Sorry, I was I found the NFL rule book because now I'm genuinely curious about the flexing games, and it's just legal mumbo jumbo to make sure nobody can understand anything.
That sounds about right. Oh, quick hello to Greg Rallo for stopping in tonight. Greg, thank you very, very much. Good to see you. Okay, so let's get back to this one. We're still only halfway through the wheel, amazingly enough. So just to recap, we've got Vernon Golson at 10, Tim Tebow at 9, Kyle Wilson at 8, Foley Fatukasi at 6, and Winston Hill at 2. So the spots that are still open are 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. All right,
I'm 4. I'm team 4. That way 1, 3, 5, 7 are open. And I think that gives us a good buffer for any other names that come out.
Yep.
And we can more accurately place them.
Oh, yeah. Where are we putting Vilma? Did we say 4 for Vilma?
I think.
That
Anyone
makes sense.
disagree?
All right, we'll go
I would have
4.
said 4 or 5 just
All right,
coming in and just hearing the list.
Okay, yep, 4. All right, I think 4 is
Wait
4
till
spare.
you see. You don't know.
All right, so 1, 3, 5, and 7 are left. All right, very odd list.
You don't know how bad the wheel is.
Ken O'Brien.
All right, Nick goes with Ken O'Brien. Tigo, who do you think we're going to land on?
Brett. We're getting Brett Favre right now.
I thought you
Okay.
were going to say Brett Rippon.
Is he on the wheel?
I'm
He's
not
on the
that-
quarterback
I'm not
wheel,
that
isn't he?
dude.
Isn't he on your quarterback wheel?
You know what? I don't think he is. I'll have to check afterwards. I don't think I put him on there.
Was
How
he
many
ever on
years-
this wheel?
He's
For
not
some
on this
reason,
wheel.
Did Brett Rippon play one game with the Jets? Maybe.
I think he's played more than Christian Hackenberg has, and he's on the wheel.
We've all played as many games as Christian. Well, Rippon was on the team, but I don't know if he actually suited up for a game, if he actually threw a pass in a game. Anybody check on Brett Rippon there? I don't know.
All right. Jeremy, who'd you guess? Tigo? You said Brett?
Tigo said Brett. Jeremy.
The good Brett, not the bad one.
I had someone and I lost it. No, I'm going to say Trumaine Johnson.
Oh,
Nice.
that's a great number 7 right there. At least he
Rippon
had a
has
lot of
never
interceptions.
thrown a pass for the New York Jets.
Okay, there we go. That's why he's not on the wheel. Although I did have Christian Hackenberg on because, let's be honest, it
Also the
creates a
memes.
reaction. I'm going to go Lamont Jordan. All right. And Hank G is going with Curtis, my favorite, Martin. Anybody else wants to throw a guess in there? We'll give you about another 15 seconds or so.
Trumaine Johnson.
Be a
Yep.
safe wet bet just to say Wilson. Aren't there like 3 Wilsons on the wheel?
Kyle Wilson. Who are the other Wilson? Garrett. I don't know if Garrett's on. Garrett is not because I don't have any current Jets on the list anymore. I don't put current Jets
Oh.
on this list.
Zach.
Never mind. Well, Zach should be on the list. There's at least
Zach-
2 there.
I think Zach is. Yeah, Zach is on. As I'm trying to read, I feel like I'm in the old Blockbuster video. You know, when your head is tilted to the side like this, and you were trying to read the spine of the video.
How about a
I
Woodrow?
got this move going on.
I still have a Best Buy card. Best Buy
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster card.
Wow,
Jesus.
what a difference. Okay, so let's all right, Wayne Hunter, Zach Wilson, Curtis Martin. All right, spin number 7 is coming right now in 3, 2, 1, spin. And we're coming to a stop on
Oh my God, one off of Curtis Martin.
Ooh.
yeah, it was one away from Curtis Martin. You were right about that, but it's a long way from Curtis Martin in other ways.
Johnny Mitchell was perplexing to me. I thought he was going to be the best tight end since Mickey Schuler. I thought we were going to have a stud. He had one play that just was one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen from a tight end. I can't believe the disappointment of what happened to his career afterward, really. But man, the talent was there. This kid was explosive.
I have a question. Adam, if you know it, don't answer it.
Okay.
Johnny Mitchell played for 2 teams in his NFL career. Can you guys name the other team?
I know it. I won't answer it though.
I don't know where he went.
Not sure I know it.
Where did he go to the Giants?
No, sir.
Was the Patriots?
No.
Eagles?
No. Close, though. Your 2 guesses are in the same vicinity.
So close.
Washington Redskins.
Nope. The other one.
Dallas Cowboys.
There you go.
There it is.
There he is, running through the East.
All right.
So as a Jet, he had in 4 years 158 catches, 2,086 yards, and 16 touchdowns.
It's not horrible.
His best year was 58 catches for 749 yards. Average 13.2 per reception.
I mean, did he just get hurt, or his game just went to hell? I mean, what
4-year deal? They let him go. His best year was his 3rd year. He had 111 targets and only 58 catches.
Jesus, that's horrendous.
Ugh.
It looks like they just let him go after 4 years, and he went to Dallas as a free agent. 1-year deal in Dallas, and then out of the league.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's so disappointing. So disappointing. He's so much talent.
Okay.
16 touchdowns is like an
50% catch
all-time great Jet.
For tight ends, I mean, yeah, he may be
No,
second.
just all-time great Jet. He's top 10 in scoring all time for us.
What?
Crazy. It's fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts.
I refuse to
What
believe that
numbers
is
are
true.
available? I guess he's a 7, right?
1, 3, 5, and 7. Here's what I would say. I
With this
think
list, I'll go 5.
here's
say
the simple question.
7.
We got to put him below Vilma. The question is, would you put Johnny Mitchell above or below Foley?
Above. They both were here 4 years. Mitchell had 16 touchdowns. That's not horrific.
And Fadakasi didn't have any touchdowns? Is that what you're telling us?
No, I'm just saying that like he's a run stuffer, so he doesn't have like a great stat line.
Right.
You know, like he's an unsung hero.
There was that 1 year with Mitchell with the 700 yards. He was the star. He was the guy we had. He was flash. He was one of the players we were excited about. I mean,
Johnny Mitchell is one of the greatest players in the history of Super Tecmo Bowl on Super Nintendo. You ran the post with him over the middle.
Okay.
Fantastic. He's unstoppable.
And you
I
said
would put him
with
7.
Foley Fadakasi that he may have been Mike McCagnon's best late round pick, and you're coming back with Tecmo Super Bowl.
I think he has to be higher than 7.
But I don't think he's better than Foley.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I like Foley against the run.
I would understand if you put him at 5, I would get it. I just have a special place in my heart for Foley.
I think we
don't
got.
Forget, we have 3 more spins left. We're gonna get a massive pile of shit. That's why we got to keep 7 open. If we get like a Doug Bryan, we're gonna want 7 open.
We're gonna
get a Hackenberg. We're gonna want 7 open. We get Greg Van Ryan, Wayne Hunter, like D. Milliner. We're gonna want 7 open.
We're gonna get a worse player than Johnny Mitchell in 3 spins. I
agree. That's what I'm saying. There's probably 30 guys worse than Johnny Mitchell on this wheel.
And but that you know what's gonna happen is that we're gonna end up putting Revis at 7.
That's fine. It makes for great content.
We're good. Our goal is to leave number 1 open as long as possible. That's kind of how we
yeah. But what's gonna happen is we're going to leave 1 open as long as possible, and then we're gonna have to put a guy 1. Like we're gonna have to put Curtis Martin 1. The very next spin is going to be freaking
perfect. But this is all contrary to Jeremy's lifestyle, who leaves number 2 open as long as possible. I had to. We're even now for calling me dumb before I got on here.
I didn't call you dumb.
Yes, you did.
I use much more creative words than dumb.
You said you're as dumb as Nick Shine.
Well, maybe
you did.
Sometimes
you did. Roll the clip.
I guess sometimes I am that blunt.
Oh boy, I will say this. You guys know that I'm a bit of I love special teams. The wheel would not be complete if we did not get 1 kicker or punter on this wheel at some point.
Let John Hall come out number 1.
It has to. I don't remember him or JoJo Townsell. One of the two.
Yeah, Tigo's been here for a wheel because he was here for the John Hall
I was here
debate
for
that
yeah.
night.
Okay, let's go.
We thought about John Hall being number 2 or 4. What was it?
It was iconic, is what it was. That's all I remember. It doesn't matter what number it was. It was.
I think
legendary.
the next wheel we did, I guessed John Hall for all 10 because I wanted it to come out so I could place him where I wanted to.
Because I wasn't there.
Okay, so
it was amazing.
We put Mitchell at 5.
Got to leave 7 open.
5. Yeah. All right. Let's do a quick recap. I'll do a quick recap. So the spots left open, guys, are 1, 3, and 7. The list from bottom to top is number 10, Vernon Golston, number 9, Tim Tebow, number 8, Kyle Wilson, number 6, Foley Fadakasi, number 5, Johnny Mitchell, number 4, Jonathan Vilma, number 2, Winston Hill.
So far, I'm okay with it all.
I think we can. I think we can hit this. I think this is going to work. I really do.
What she said to both statements. I think we can hit this. This is going to work.
You're digging a little bit on that one, but okay. Let's see.
I think we can hit this. This is going to work.
Okay. Well. All right. Spin number 8.
Brad Smith.
Brad Smith. Okay. Derek Mason.
Oh, nice.
Our soon to be number 1 on the list, Altoon.
Ooh. All right. Tigo, what you got?
Scott Foster said Altoon. Oh boy.
Wow. Chris Herndon.
Oh, that's a great number 7. All right, chat. Let's put a couple of guesses in there. Guys, you can put that player wherever you want if we land on that player.
Scott, throw another name in.
Come on, Scott. Sorry about that.
I didn't see who came up with it first, but
I wasn't sure either, but unless Jeremy just wants to change. Either way is good. GVH says Mark Sanchez. Okay.
GVH.
if I could do Photoshop, I would take Mark Sanchez's curly long hair and put it on Jeremy. If I could Photoshop.
Wow.
That hair on Jeremy would look fantastic.
Hank G with a good one. Chris Ivory.
But you know what? I gotta play it safe because I gotta put my guy number 1. I'm changing to Chad Pennington.
Ooh.
He was my guy first.
I love Chad Pennington.
Incorrect, good sir.
Number 1.
Yeah, we should have
Number 1 and 0. Number 1 and 0. 10. Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Sean
Number
Makati.
10 on the field. Number 1 in your heart. All right. Okay, Sean. All right, here we go.
Makati.
All right.
Who did I even pick for this one? Did I pick someone?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Pick
you
someone.
did.
Jojo Tanzel.
There we go. Spin number 8 in 3, 2, 1, go.
Give me Chad.
Almost, but not quite. Instead, it's the turnstile himself, Wayne freaking
Nice. All right, now we can make up time. We could just put him at 7.
Yeah, that's not really much of a conversation.
Guys, don't worry about it. We got this one for you, chat.
We're going to have Christian Hackenberg at 1. We're going to be 1 open. There's going to be a guy who never played.
It's gonna be Zach Wilson 1.
I'm glad we kept 7 open. I'm telling you, because that.
Yeah.
There's strategy to the wheelchair. There's
because
strategy
now
because
it's 1
there's
and
so
3.
much crap on here.
Now it's 1 and 3, and we're gonna run it back with Zach Wilson and D. Milner.
Oh my God,
guys! Just to let you know who our last 4 number 1s have been. I actually, because I keep these lists in no particular order. Our last 4 number 1s on the 100 list were Pat Leahy. We did have Wayne Corbett. That went well.
That's a good one.
Didn't Doug Bryan come out one time?
You're on page 9. I'm only on page 7, dude. We had Derek Mason, and we had Doug Bryan. We had Doug Bryan at number 1. You're right. We did.
I caught the end of it one day.
Oh man.
So
I'm running it back. Give me Chad.
All right. We got 1 and 3 left. All right. We just need
Hackenberg.
Better than Jonathan Vilma. That's not asking. We're not asking for to move a mountain here. We could do that. I'm going to go with Nick Mangold.
All right.
We just he's 1 spot over.
Yeah.
Oh no, Fitzpatrick is 1 spot over. He's 2 spots over.
Yep. He's right over there.
Oh, GV8 said Nick Mangold too.
Now you got to change now.
I'll
Chat
change
overrules.
I'll change it. Yep.
No, it's your birthday. You keep.
No. I'll change it. I'm going to change to Antonio Cromartie.
All right.
He's
We're
a
still giving you
gracious
credit, though,
big
for your birthday. I mean, either way, you're both probably putting him at 1. So
Exactly.
I who will create controversy, but not for me. Our future number 1 player on today's list, Marty Lyons.
Ooh,
Thought about him.
Very nice.
Thought about him. All right.
All right. Hit it.
All right. Tigo, who did you go
I'm
with?
running it back with Chad.
Running it back with Chad? Okay. All right, guys. I see Denzel Mims in the chat. Okay, stellar.
Did I pick somebody?
Yep. Spin number 9.
Did I pick
In
somebody?
3,
Yeah, you
2,
did. We forgot.
1.
Who did I take? Hackenberg?
Yeah, Hackenberg.
Well, it won't be Hackenberg, but instead it's going to be Buster freaking Screen.
Nice. All the drama coming to number 1. I love it.
We got a jailbird, guys. We got a jailbird.
Put him at 3 because he actually wasn't that bad, and let's get it.
Let's
He had
go.
a lot of penalties. I mean,
That's
it wasn't
it.
horrible,
Freaking
but the penalties.
Zach Wilson, number 1. It's happening.
Oh, wow. Buster Screen. Put it this way. If he was like number 6 or so on this list, I wouldn't be bothered by that. But no, in no universe was he better than Vilma or even Mitchell. But number 2, Winston Hill. Number 3, Buster Screen. Oh my gosh, what a chasm that is.
I would love to hear someone try to argue it, though.
This might be the worst wheel we've ever done in terms of talent. Like this.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. When I was living in Virginia,
Not even like long-term Jets. Like everyone, like Vilma's 4 years, Foley's 4 years. Everyone else is short-term Jets.
Yeah, outside of Winston, that's it.
That's what I'm saying. It's Winston, and then like
4 years
not great
at best.
Dude, you know
Screen
what?
was here for 4 years.
The name doesn't matter now. I'm just going to go with categories. It's going to be Hall of Famer, great player, average player, or shit. I'm going to go with shit. I think this whole wheel, I think it's going to be a shit player. And we'll know, right? Because it doesn't matter if you predict the name because it automatically goes to 1. But what tier do you think this is going to fall in?
So
Garbage.
Hall of Fame, great, average, or shit. Those are our categories, right?
Yeah.
I would be so disappointed if this wound up average today. I really want this to go out with a bang. Can I go? I want this to end with special teams. I really, because it would just make me laugh.
Oh, irrelevant.
I'm going to go
add a
great
fifth quarter. We'll add irrelevant.
I'm going to go great player. I think we're going to have an upper echelon.
Great
Better
player?
than Buster
All right.
Screen.
All right. Like great players are like the Mo Lewis, Wesley Walkers. They're not the Hall of Famers, but they're great.
John Riggins and
Corbett, like that category is like great
Oh,
player. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going total shit bomb. Like it's like Golston for a third time.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I'm saying bottom 5 guy on the wheel.
I'm gonna say.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be Joe. I think it's bottom guy, Joe Namath's guy, Browning Nagel.
Nick, I have one retraction to what you just said. Bottom 5 guy on the wheel. We've got 3 bottom 5 guys already on the list already tonight.
Right.
We're rounding out the list with all 5 of them. Zach Wilson, number 1. Make it happen.
Oh dear God! If I know it's Adam's birthday, but please give me a gift, Lord. Let it be John Hall. Please let this be John Hall.
Oh man!
And then you get special teams, and I get my guy, and it's the best wheel for both of us.
It'd be perfect.
Hit it, Adam. Let's go.
All right, Chad. It has been quite the night. We have been with you tonight for 2 hours and 20 minutes. We're a little over a third of the way to the Mother's Day Marathon. But the wheel with the 4 horsemen of Jets fandom here in action. We have brought you one of the most diabolical, pathetic wheels in the history of this program on episode number 52. And in a wheel that has included legends like Golston and Wilson and Hunter and Tebow, who will round it out tonight. We are going to find out in 3, 2, 1, spin.
Shit on my face. Let's go. Shit on my chest. Rub it in. Give me shit. Give me shit. Give me shit.
Robbie Anderson.
I didn't even know he was on the list. You have to change it. He's not Robbie Anderson anymore.
Shit.
Oh, you are right. Well, he may have been Robbie Anderson with the Jets, but I'm hearing from the board that he no longer exists, and we are going to
spin it again
right now.
Let's go.
The Chosen Anderson, or is it
Let's get
Anderson,
chaotic,
Robbie
baby.
the Chosen?
Robbie
no
Chosen.
Robbie
Who gives a
Anderson.
shit?
And Adam is chosen to spin again.
I have chosen to spin again.
No, but you go to the next slot, which is Browning Nagel.
All right, guys, do it with me in 3, 2, 1, spin.
Le'Veon Bell.
Robbie Anderson again.
He'll be number 1 anyway. Who cares? All right, it's Kenny O'Brien. That's
All right.
Can I run?
Okay.
That would be number 1.
All right. That's so sad, though, just to get average.
Ken O'Brien, number 1. I mean, I would put him number 2 behind Winston Hill on this list, and I would have no problem with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Not
Nah.
wrong. I mean,
So
Wilson was a great quarterback. Before he got hurt, he was a great quarterback.
Yeah.
He was, but
They
guys,
couldn't keep
you
him
know what?
upright.
It's just one of those nights when the wheel did not go our way. And so in the verdict tonight of did we win or lose, it's quite simple. We did not win this one.
Sad times.
Bad
I don't think
times.
the list was as ugly though as far as the order. The rankings look okay. Like most of the rankings
Yeah.
are okay. Like it could have
Yeah.
like it's I've seen it look really ugly in the way the rankings work.
The names suck, but it's accurate in terms of the ranking. Yeah, like I think the only thing Adam said it, you'd flip O'Brien and Hill, and other than that, I think it's pretty on point.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put Screen ahead of Vilma either. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's one.
that's so
Yeah, that's true.
no. This was over
But
by 7. So
I gotta
all
run.
right,
I
guys.
gotta make dinner before
Yep.
my show. Hopefully, you guys can make it. Like I said, I'll have Frankie from Flatbush on at 9:00. So check it out, everyone. It's great being back together with all you guys. That means one effing thing: football's coming. Happy birthday, buddy! I love you. All the happiness, success in the world to you, and everything you do and all your endeavors. Jeremy, you suck. Tigo, you're cool.
All the things that Nick said, but longer and more eloquent. Happy
Could've
birthday,
said
friend. I
that
got to
myself.
hop out of here.
In that case,
You go, boys.
All right, Nick Tigo, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Yep, Tigo.
Later,
there,
pal.
there we go. See you later, Nick. All right. Jeremy, anything that you want to mention before we get out of here? Anything you want to plug or just anything going on in your life right now?
Brooklyn Brothers food review, guys. I still got the channel, Jeff's Chaos. I'll do random rants. You guys know that. You just have to have your notifications on because I don't even know when they're coming. Probably I'll start getting into making some videos as I get inspired to. But really, it's the Brooklyn Brothers food review. That's like where the focus is right now. Trying to get a video out every other day. Me and my brothers. Right now, we're showing a lot of videos of my brother Lee in London. And then after that, I don't know, but we'll get as many out as we can. Check it out. It's a fun channel.
Fantastic. And yes, I am lining up the gold hat on purpose to be right in line with the A in travel up there. And it actually doesn't look all that bad, I got to say. All right, guys. This was a heck of a turnout tonight. Whole lot of people showed up. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, we've been doing this live show for a full year now. This was episode 52. I think I missed 1 week along the way, but it's been a good run, and there's a whole lot more to come. So, yeah, guys, go check out Proud New York Jets Fan at 9 p.m., just 30 minutes away. And as far as I go, we'll be back here, same time, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Until then, there'll be more content coming up, so definitely check that out. Everybody, have a great rest of your night, and I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. There it is, the Wicker Chair. Good night, everybody.